Batting 8th is Michael Massey. He's at second base. And Dayron Blanco is in left field, batting 9th. Before we get you over to the call, let's check out the Bet365 standings update. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds. Find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. Let's check out that AL East. Orioles are atop the division at 14-7. Yankees are 15-8 after losing 2-0 to the A's earlier this afternoon. The Red Sox are 13-10. Jays are 12-10. And the Rays are 12-11. And don't forget, we do have Jays Talk today. Blair and Barker will have the post-game show tonight. They will take your phone calls after the final out, as always. All right, we are just about ready to go, so let's get you over to the guys calling all the action today. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue with the call of the first of 4 Jays and Royals.
Thank you, Show. Brady Singer in the Royals' white home jerseys, getting loose right now on the mound, getting set for the first inning of work. The first inning is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. And Singer, making his 5th start of the season, has been pretty much as good as anyone so far in the American League. An ERA at 1.54, a 2-0 record. He struck out 23 in 23 and a third innings. And the Royals have won all 4 games he started. He's the difference right now. They're 9-9 when everyone else starts. They're 4-0 when the right-hander's on the mound.
Well, Singer has been good. I'll give him that. But his 2 out of the last 3 games that he's pitched, they've played the Chicago White Sox, and the Chicago White Sox are the worst team in Major League Baseball. I'm not saying he is not pitching well. You just have to look at the teams that he's played against. He gave up 2 earned runs in 5 innings on the 17th against the White Sox, and he gave up 1 earned run in 6 1/3 against the White Sox on April 5th. I'm really curious to see what he looks like.
Here's George Springer. The first pitch from Singer is in there, strike 1. Time of the first pitch today, 7:40 Eastern on the dot. Springer, a .210 hitter. The 0-1. George swings and bounces it softly to the first baseman, Vinny Pasquantino, who flips it back to Brady Singer. 1 out. No sun over top Kauffman Stadium right now. It is warm-ish. I mean, it's 20 degrees Celsius, but a ton of wind and no sun. The wind is blowing at 31 kilometers an hour, and it's blowing kind of straight out, but it's changed directions a little bit pregame. So with 1 out, here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The pitch from Singer is outside, 1-0.
Singer's first 3 pitches have been fastballs. He's actually a very slider-heavy pitcher. 46% of his pitches are sliders.
The 1-0. Swing and a foul back, 1-1. He fills in the rest of it with a good share of sinkers. About 1/3 of his pitches are sinkers. He'll throw the four-seam fastball pretty often, and then a very occasional changeup. The 1-1. Swing and a miss at that slider. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And it's a good one. I mean, it's tight. It's got good depth to it. That one right there to Vlad, although he shouldn't have swung at that. It started on the outside corner. It was a good slider.
27-year-old right-hander ahead in the count. 1 out, base is empty. And the 1-2 to Vlad. Spiked the slider that time. 2-2. Guerrero went hitless yesterday, 0 for 4, dropped his average to 226. 2-2. And he hits a ball to left center field. That'll split the outfielders and get down in front of Dayron Blanco. Kansas City left fielder picks it up, but Guerrero rounds first and stops there with a first-inning single.
And that's a good piece of hitting from Vlad. A good sinker on the inside part of the plate. He just pulls his hands through and muscles it into left center. Didn't hit it all that hard, but he knew exactly what he was trying to do.
So Guerrero with the early knock, and here's Bo Bichette. Singer from the stretch for the first time today. Kicks and deals to Bo. Missed low, 1-0.
Brady Singer's career ERA is 4.36. It's currently at 1.54.
And, you know, he is entering his prime. He's 27 now. Coming off a tough year last year. 1-0. Slider outside, 2-0.
His career batting average against is 262. It's at 163 right now. I think pitchers in general come back to earth. I don't think you see a guy have a 5.5 like he did last year and then have a 1.5. generally speaking.
2-0 pitch downstairs again. 3 balls and no strikes. And you had mentioned off the top the last start he made against the White Sox. He did walk a handful of batters, walked 3 in that start.
Yeah, and when you start getting into 3, 4, 5 walks a game, he doesn't walk that many every game, but in his last game, he only gave up 2 earned runs in 5 innings pitched. A good team takes advantage of that. The Chicago White Sox did not.
3-0 fastball. Bichette was taking all the way. It's strike 1. No score, top of the first. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on first base, 1 out, and Bo Bichette hitting. Bo batting .241 this year. The 3-1. Fastball at the knees for strike 2. Went back to the same spot, and he's filled up the count.
Singer's career whip, walks and hits per innings pitch, is 1.32. His current whip, 0.86.
Yeah, that's just not any starter's whip, really. Full count pitch is hit well to center field. Guerrero was off on the pitch, and it's lined right at the center fielder, Hampson. He'll squeeze it. Vlad retreats to first, and there are 2 down. But Bo got a good chunk of that fastball, just hit it to the wrong spot.
Yeah, he hit it right at center fielder Garrett Hampson. He got the barrel on it. A nice line drive. Good swing. Vlad had to put the brakes on and scurry back to first base.
That was actually the slider there that Bo hit well, but he's out, and here comes Justin Turner. 2 outs, flat on first. First pitch is low, 1-0. Home plate umpire today is Chris Cuccione. Brian Knight at first, Alex McKay at second, and Ryan Addison at third base. Turner hitting .308 this year, the 1-0. Off the hands, foul into the netting. Couple of very accomplished veterans standing around home plate right now, with Turner hitting and Salvador Perez catching for the Kansas City Royals.
Who is having an incredible season, Perez. Well, both of them are really having good seasons.
Swing and a miss on the 1-1, 1-2. Turner, the team leader for the Blue Jays, with his .308 batting average, 7 doubles, and 11 RBIs. Playing for his 5th major league team. The 1-2 to Justin Turner. He lifts the ball to shallow center. Hampson is running in. He'll get there and make the catch overhead to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on for the Blue Jays. They go down scoreless in the top of the first. We'll see Yusei Kikuchi next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
When you have an iconic look like Danny Jansen, picking new glasses can be tough.
Too big, too small, too cool, too much, too 90s, too futuristic. I think I'm just going to stick with the originals. These are working just fine.
He is really seeing the ball well.
Your friends will do a double take when they see you in your Danny Jansen new blue replica jersey and glasses.
And he's got some style.
On Monday, April 29th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a Jano bundle. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
Hey, this is Trevor Richards. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Shulman alongside Chris LaRue. No score. Bottom of the first inning. Here's Yusei Kikuchi pitching to Michael Garcia. Lefty's first pitch is hit foul. 0-1. Michael Garcia, the third baseman leading off for the Royals, a right-handed hitter. Third season in the major leagues. Kikuchi, the southpaw, settling in on the rubber, the 0-1. Fastball hit foul, and Garcia's been late on the first two. It's that typical mid-90s heat coming out of the left arm of Kikuchi.
Well, early on in this season, he is the hardest left-handed starting pitcher in terms of velocity.
0-2. Slider, grounded to third, picked up by IKF, who takes his time, throws over to first. One down. That's helped out Kikuchi to a very impressive line so far. 1-1 with a 2.08 ERA in 4 games started, 21 2/3 innings pitched. And he struck out 29 batters over those 22 innings after that ground out.
Well, he's been incredible. And I think the biggest thing, I say this with everybody, but he's just attacking guys with his fastball.
Here's the pitch to Bobby Witt Jr. Fastball is called outside, looked close, 1-0.
He's throwing a ton of strikes with that fastball, and when he does that, he can sprinkle in that big curveball. He can sprinkle in that back foot slider. He's been so good at that lately.
The 1-0. Missed low with the slider. Maybe being a bit more careful here with Witt, who's a 300 hitter right now, 7 doubles, a Major League Baseball leading 3 triples, 4 homers, 8 RBIs. 2-0. Right-handed hitter takes strike one, and while the first one was called a ball and might have been a strike, that one looked low, but Kikuchi gets the benefit there to make it 2 balls and 1 strike. The left on right pitch. Witt hits it foul behind the plate, and it's 2-2. Bobby Witt in his 3rd season, and last year he absolutely exploded. He was impressive in year 1 for sure. He had a 2020 season as a rookie. Last year he hit 30 homers and stole 49 bases while batting in the 270s. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Kikuchi gets him on the slider. Witt with a shake of his head. There are 2 down.
Well, Kikuchi normally throws that slider to the back foot, but that thing started right down the middle and just dipped right under Bobby Witt Jr.'s bat. That was a great pitch. Not the location that he normally throws that pitch in, but you can see that Danny Jansen was set up right down the middle.
So the bases are empty after the strikeout. 2 outs, and the pitch to left-handed hitting Vinny Pasquantino. Front door slider, strike 1. We'll make that the curve. Pasquantino hitting .268 this year, although he's amid a 10-game hitting streak right now with all 4 of his home runs on the year coming in those 10 games. Open stance, the 0-1. Miss low with the breaking ball.
Pasquantino's a big boy, a big left-handed hitter, 6'4", 245 pounds.
Yeah, they took a lot of lefties out of their regular lineup today, but they're not going to take him out. 1-1. Low 2-1. Another guy in his 3rd year in the majors, drafted the same season as Bobby Witt Jr. back in 2019.
And the thing I love about baseball, Vinny was an 11th round pick.
The 2-1. Ground ball hit softly to second. Lots of time for Kevin Biggio. He comes up with it and throws to first. To end a 1-2-3 inning, a pair of groundouts and a strikeout for Yusei Kikuchi. We'll head to the second in a scoreless ball game. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, it's Taylor. Welcome to SiriusXM Channel 13, Taylor's version.
Now for free in your car for a limited time through May 6th. All Taylor music.
It's finally here. My new album, The Tortured Poets Department, is out now.
Plus, hear Taylor's surprise album drop, The Anthology.
On Channel 13, Taylor's version. I hope you love it.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
It's a home run for Ronald Acuna.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy basketball to getting you ready for the NFL Draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
How you manage your team day in and day out will be the difference in where you finish in 2024.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM. Let's go, we're back on the track Sunday,
1 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Worth 400 from Dover Motor Speedway.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah.
On Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the Sirius XM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah.
Hey, baseball fans, the NBA postseason is in full swing, and your home for nonstop discussion every day and playoff action on the court every night is Sirius XM NBA Radio Channel 86 and on the brand new Sirius XM app.
And the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The second inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet live in-game on game props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Top of the second inning, it's scoreless. First pitch to Dalton Varsho is called strike one, and Brady Singer, the Royals starter, gets ahead. Here's the right on left 0-1. Swing and a miss by Varsho. And it's 0-2. Dalton bats .242 so far this year, team leading 5 homers. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Beat him with a fastball on the outside edge, and Varsho strikes out on 3 pitches to start the second.
That was a great sequence from Singer. Slider in at the back foot. Dalton swung over it, and then he just dots up that sinker on the outside part of the plate. It must be pretty fun pitching with Salvador Perez, who has been around forever, it seems like.
Debuted in 2011. First pitch to Davis Schneider. Check swing on a pitch outside. Appeal down to first. He went around, says Brian Knight. 0-1. I mean, Perez still in his early 30s, but he broke in at 21. 0-1 outside, 1-1. And so he has been around a long time, really through 2 different rebuilds now for the Kansas City Royals and their World Series title in 2015. 1-1 to Schneider. Check swing, tapper, foul, 1-2.
Well, embarrassingly enough, I didn't know how old he was, but I'd known that he's been around forever. And I looked it up before the game, and I said, he's only 33?
Yeah.
That seems young to me. It seems like he should be in his late 30s.
1-2 pitch. Outside, Schneider lays off. Perez working with Brady Singer today. Vinny Pasquantino is the first baseman for the Royals. Michael Massey at second. Bobby Witt Jr. plays short. Michael Garcia at third. And then Dyrone Blanco, Garrett Hampson, and Hunter Renfroe left to right in the outfield. Top of the second, no score. 1 out, bases empty, and a 2-2 count. Here's the pitch to Davis Schneider. Spiked way outside of the zone. 3-2. And that pitch obviously low in the fact that it hit the ground, but it was deep into the lefty batter's box against a right-handed hitter in Schneider. 227 is Schneider's average. 3 home runs, including 1 yesterday. 3-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Dropped the slider on the bottom of the zone. Schneider puts his eyes up to the sky. Looked like he didn't love the call. There are 2 outs.
I actually really like that pitch. Davis Schneider obviously didn't like that call, but that was a great slider. Salvador Perez does a good job of framing that pitch and bringing it back up, but he didn't really need to. That ball was at the bottom of the strike zone. A really nice pitch from Singer.
Back-to-back strikeouts for the right-hander, 27 years old. From Florida, played at Florida. He's staring in now against Danny Jansen. The first pitch. Dano goes around, tried to hold back his swing. They called it a strike anyway. Pitch was outside, but it looked like Jansen swung. 0-1. Quickly from Singer, the next offering. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Danny Jansen had come out with a goatee off the injured list. That look has changed a little bit. Now just a mustache for the catchers starting back-to-back days. 1-1. Down and away, 2-1.
Well, we talked about this earlier in the season, but the mustache is cool now, even for the everyday person. It's not just a weird look that, fun guys have. It's an everyday thing that you see a lot of guys rocking.
2-1 slider bounced foul, 2-2.
Even Tom Young has one.
Oh, Tom Young's is phenomenal. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the second inning. Singer gets a new baseball after that foul off from Jansen. Just the 4th game of the year so far for Danny Jansen. He's 2 for 10. A pair of doubles in the New York series. 2-2 pitch. Jano smokes a ball. Center field. Hampson on the run. Dives. Makes a beautiful play. Reaching out for the catch. Garrett Hampson takes a hit away from Danny Jansen and ends the inning. 1-2-3 for Brady Singer. And at the middle of 2, no score, Blue Jays and Royals. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better. So they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
Which Looney Dogger are you? The Fork and Knifer, Splatterer, Condiment Queen, or Big Dipper? This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. You will have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the stadium. Then show the world your Looney Dog style. Because whether you're the mustard maven or ketchup king, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. So don't miss out on this deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's, every Tuesday home game.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Kiermaier going back to the wall. He leaps and he made the catch!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the second inning at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. Scoreless game, Blue Jays and Royals. The opener of this 4-game series. Yusei Kikuchi back on the rubber. Salvador Perez, Nelson Velasquez, and Hunter Renfroe to hit this inning for the Royals. Kikuchi takes a breath, twists, and offers. Perez lays off a breaking ball, 1-0.
And speaking of big boys, Salvador Perez is 6'3", 255 pounds.
Yeah, he's a monster in that box. He is really tough to pitch against. The 1-0, breaking ball, hit sharply and bobbled at third by IKF. He can't come up with the play. Perez smoked that one at 99 miles an hour to the backhand side of Kiner Falefa, and it went off his glove, rolled into foul territory, and it was a moot point after that.
Well, IKF bobbled it. It dropped out of his glove. He probably had time, because Perez hit that ball so hard, to pick it up and throw it across the diamond. Perez also doesn't run that well, but he tried to pick it up with his glove. That's rule number 1 in baseball. If the ball's on the ground, you go down and pick it up with your bare hand.
They give Perez a hit there. For the hot shot. First pitch to Nelson Velasquez. High ball 1.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that could be a hit. I mean, it wasn't hit directly at him. Hit pretty hard. First hit of the day for the Royals, who were shut out in their most recent game, losing 5-0 to the Orioles. Runner on first. Kikuchi looks at him, fires home to Velasquez. Pitch called a ball on a curveball that was close. 2-0. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left is Chris LaRue. Show Ali's our host and producer today. Tom Young, our technical director. Turner a step off the bag, holding on Perez. Kansas City loves to run. Perez not exactly the guy that they're going to send, though. 2-0. Fastball cut on and missed. Strike 1.
Yeah, Bobby Witt Jr. has 4 stolen bags this year, but he's been caught stealing 3 times.
Yeah. This is a guy who stole 49 bases last year. He did lead Major League Baseball with 15 caught stealings, but that's a much more comfortable ratio than 4-3. 2-1 pitch. Fastball for a called strike 2. Nelson Velasquez, the hitter, is the DH today, acquired middle of the last season from Chicago, the Cubs. Off to a .277 start, 2 homers. Kikuchi steps off for a moment, just kind of in slow motion, fakes a throw to first. Resetting the pitch clock. And making Perez take a couple steps. He's laughing with Turner over at first. 2-2 count, the pitch to Velasquez. Hit off the handle and caught at second by a leaping Kevin Biggio. For a moment, that looked like it might be a bloop single into center, but Biggio jumped off of his right foot, extended his left arm into the air, and reeled it in. 1 out.
Well, Kikuchi missed his spot. He was trying to go back foot with that slider. He left it kind of over the middle, a little bit on the inside part, and Velasquez got jammed. I thought that ball was going to drop, but Kevin Biggio does a good job going back on it.
These are the 2 of the best defensive teams in all of baseball so far this year. Here's the first pitch to Hunter Renfroe. Swing and a high fly ball. Center field. Varsho creeping in. Stops, makes the catch. 2 down. On May 1st, you could become a part of Blue Jays history. Jays Care amazing April jackpot is approaching $1.5 million and on pace to be one of the biggest take-home prizes ever. If you're in Ontario or Nova Scotia, head to bluejays.com/5050 to get your tickets. 2 outs. Salvador Perez on first after an infield single to lead off the inning. Here's Garrett Hampson, first pitch. Slider for strike 1. Hampson, a longtime Rocky, spent last year with the Marlins, signing a 1-year deal with Kansas City this offseason. He and Renfroe, the previous hitter, part of the additions that Kansas City made to its lineup. A look at Perez and the 0-1. Fastball hit foul. Hampson looked way behind 96 there, 0-2.
Well, that was a great sequence. Just a slider over the middle of the plate for that first strike, and then just a 96-mile-an-hour fastball right on the black on the inside that ties up Hampson. He'll probably go back foot slider here. That's what he loves to do.
He's got the curveball to use too. Has thrown the splitter a little bit this year. The pitch. Hit up the middle on 1 bounce. Gloved by Bichette. He throws over to Biggio at second and ends the inning. Kikuchi gives up 1 single but strands the runner. No runs for either side after 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Enjoy the game.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks. So give us a call today.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Jose Berrios, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Belleville and Trenton. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com. Canada's #1 rust protection. Top of the third starts with a ball inside to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. No score, Toronto and Kansas City. Brady Singer, the starter, deals the next pitch and misses outside, 2-0. Rare day off for IKF yesterday. Back in the lineup today, playing third. Right-handed hitter hitting .254 in the young season. 2-0 pitch inside again, 3-0. And these haven't been marginal misses. They've been big enough that IKF hasn't really offered. Perez sets up low and down the middle, the 3-0. Inside, ball 4. 4 straight fastballs, none of them really competitive. And IKF will take the leadoff walk.
Well, clearly he has issues throwing that fastball. It's his second most thrown pitch. That slider is probably the pitch that he leans on when he's behind in the count. He throws 4 fastballs there, and none of them are even close.
That's Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. Kevin Biggio at the plate with a runner on first and nobody out. The pitch. Called strike 1 against Kevin Biggio, right on the outside edge with a 4-seam fastball rather than the preferred sinker for Singer.
That was a little bit of a gift there. That ball was off the plate.
Biggio hitting .269 this year. The 0-1. Check swing. That one off the plate as well, but called a strike with the slider, and it's 0-2.
And I can only imagine what Kevin Biggio is thinking. He has a great eye up there. Takes 2 balls, and they're called strikes, and now he's in a 0-2 hole.
Biggio waggling the bat. A turn and a throw over to first. IKF dives back safely. Kiner-Falefa with 2 stolen bases and 2 tries this year. Very windy day. Wind now blowing from right to left in Kansas City. 0-2 pitch. Biggio shoots a liner down the left field line. Fair ball. Rolling onto the side warning track. Kiner-Falefa stopping at third. Biggio into second. It's Kevin's 4th double of the season. And the Blue Jays have 2 on the base paths with nobody out.
Well, Singer and Perez tried to go upstairs. They tried to elevate that 2-seamer. And it kind of just runs right over the middle of the plate. And Kevin Biggio does a great job just getting the barrel to the baseball and drills it down the left field line about 4 feet from being foul. That was a great piece of hitting. Obviously an 0-2 count, so he's protecting there, but a great job by Kevin Biggio.
And he sets up George Springer. Second and third, no outs. Infield drawn in to be even with the baselines. The first pitch. Swing and a foul ball off the thigh of Perez, who hunched over but popped up immediately and grabbed the ball off the ground. He's all good. And Springer gives him an extra second before stepping back in the box.
How many times do you think that's happened to him?
A million. I can't even imagine. Biggio on second, Kiner-Falefa on third. The 0-1 to Springer. Outside. George is 0 for 1, grounded out on the second pitch of the game. Trying to put the Blue Jays in front. The 1-1 pitch. Springer bounces it up the middle past the mound. Biggio retreats, but Kiner-Falefa will come in to score. It's fielded at short and tossed over to first. Or pardon me, Kiner-Falefa holds up. He started to go, then stopped, and Bobby Witt Jr. made the play to first, so no runs come in, and it's second and third, 1 out.
That's a good play right there by IKF. Obviously, you're not going on contact. You're kind of reading where that ball is. There's no outs. You can see IKF kind of shuffling back and forth. It wasn't really sure what to do, but he made the right play, not going home there. Nobody out. Runners on second and third. You kind of want to stay where you are. You don't want to take an out at home plate.
First pitch misses outside to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., 1-0, and perhaps Vladdy being on deck influences that as well.
Definitely.
Vladdy 1 for 1 today. 9 driven in this year for Guerrero, 3 homers. Infield still in. The pitch. Down and away, ball 2. Blue Jays jumped in front in each of the first 2 games of this road trip in San Diego. Won both of those games. The day that they gave up a run first, game 3, was the one they lost. The 2-0. Guerrero checks his swing. Called strike on a pitch that looked low. Vladdy's shaking his head, saying that's out to home plate umpire Chris Guccione. It's 2-1.
Well, it wasn't out, but it was down, that's for sure. Vlad does a great job of taking that pitch. He generally swings at that pitch.
The 2-1, swing and a miss. strike 2.
There's that slider that he's been struggling with so often. That actually started off the plate on the outside part of the plate, and he still offers at it. We've seen him do that a lot recently.
Guerrero asks for time, takes a walk up the line, looking at Carlos Fabulous, and now back in the box. 2 taps of the plate. 2 runners in scoring position. Biggio on second, IKF on third. 2-2. Spiked and blocked on the backhand side by Salvador Perez. Full count.
Brady Singer's thrown a few of those sliders today. Sliders that aren't even close to the plate. Perez does a great job of blocking that. Actually kind of lucky. He just stuck his glove out and blocked it. But Brady Singer, normally you don't really see that from guys that have decent control. That was in the middle of the other batter's box.
A look at second in the 3-2. Low ball 4. Singer doesn't love it, but that pitch definitely below the knees, maybe outside as well. Guerrero takes a walk, and the bases are loaded for Justin Turner.
And that was almost the exact same pitch that Vlad, that a strike was called about 2 pitches earlier. And Vlad does a good job taking that pitch, even though that could have been a strike. It was a little bit low, but with the previous call, you'd never know.
Here's Bo Bichette, pardon me, not Justin Turner. The first pitch to Bo is low, 1-0. And now Singer really has to rein in his command because the next walk would walk in a run. Bichette 0 for 1 with a line out to center. Bases loaded, 1 down. The pitch. Fastball for strike 1. Of the 49 pitches that Brady Singer has thrown so far, 28 have been strikes, 21 have been balls. Here's his 50th pitch of the day. Bichette hits a hard liner foul, 1-2.
And you can see just how frustrating it is when a guy throws 47% sliders and then he mixes in that 93 down the middle. Bo was way behind that. He's got to be frustrated that he missed that baseball.
Infield playing back now with a chance at a double play. Bases loaded, 1 out, no score, top of 3. The 1-2 pitch is outside, 2-2.
Good take right there.
Singer peeks over his left shoulder at Guerrero at first. Looks at second and third, delivers to Bichette, who lines a ball right center field. That's trouble. That's past Hampson, off his glove, diving, and down on the warning track. IKF scores. Right behind him, Biggio coming around to the plate. Vlad will score as well. It's a bases clearing triple for Bo Bichette, and it's 3-0 Blue Jays.
Well, Bo did such a good job going down and getting that slider and drilling it into the gap in right field. That ball just kept going. I thought Hampson had a beat on it, but it just kept going and going. That was a great swing from Bo Bichette on a slider that was actually off the plate.
He was late on that fastball. It seemed like he was looking slider the whole way. Hampson did his best to reel it in, but it hit off the end of his glove and bounced onto the track. Bichette fired up, clapping to the dugout, and now Justin Turner takes the ball. So it's 1-0. Runner on third, 1 out, and the next pitch to Turner bounced over the middle of the mound, fumbled by the second baseman, picked up by Massey and thrown over to first. Bichette had to hold at third base. There are now 2 down.
Yeah, with the infield drawn in there, you don't want to go on contact. He would have been thrown out at home. Good job from Bo Bichette.
So 3 runs in this inning for the Blue Jays. They're up 3-0, top of the third in Kansas City. Here's Dalton Varsho with Bo on third and 2 outs. Salvador Perez steps out from behind the plate. And now the home plate umpire, Chris Guccione, is going out to talk to Brady Singer as well. Not exactly sure the purpose of that visit, but Perez and Guccione heading back to the plate. And on the mound right now, Brady Singer. Dalton Varsho, the left-handed hitter, stepping in. He's 0 for 1. Runner on third, 2 down. The pitch. Outside. So the Blue Jays score first for the 3rd time in 4 tries on this road trip. 1-0. Varsho hits it behind him foul, 1-1. Dalton looking at his two-tone bat. It's got a red barrel, black handle, thin gold circle going all the way around it, separating the two colors. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Fooled by the back foot slider, 1-2.
And they did this same thing in his last at-bat. They went slider back foot, which he swung over, and then they went sinker away, which he just took for strike 3. Let's see if they go back to that.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Doubled up on the slider. Varsho chases, and that will end the inning. The Blue Jays, though, scored 3 runs on 2 hits. It's Bo Bichette's bases-clearing triple that has Toronto on top 3-0, middle of 3. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
It's a home run for Ronald Acuna.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy basketball to getting you ready for the NFL Draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
How you manage your team day in and day out will be the difference in where you finish in 2024.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Hey, baseball fans, the NBA postseason is in full swing, and your home for nonstop discussion every day and playoff action on the court every night is Sirius XM NBA Radio Channel 86 and on the brand new Sirius XM app.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are on top of the women's college basketball world yet again.
Perfection for South Carolina. 38 games, 38 wins.
We're reacting to the perfect season and talking to the biggest names right here on Channel 374.
Congratulations, Coach Staley. What does this particular title mean to you?
This title is pretty special because it was unexpected.
Keep it locked into Sirius XM SEC Radio as we continue to break it all down and celebrate the Gamecocks' 3rd national title.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on Sirius XM FC.
Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most.
The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory.
Jude Bellingham's driving, scores!
And one performance can turn a star into an immortal.
Harry Kane finishes off the game.
It's the Champions League knockout stage, and all the top matches are on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 3rd inning in Kansas City, 3-0 Blue Jays. Yusei Kikuchi deals left on left to Michael Massey, and it's high, ball 1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Appreciate you tuning in tonight. 8-9-1 for the Royals in the bottom of the 3rd. They look to respond to Bo Bichette's bases clearing triple. The 1-0. Popped up. Back of second, Bichette going out to center, called off by Varsho, who will jog in and make the play. 1 out. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Timber Mart always has someone on deck to help you with any home improvement projects. Before you begin renovating, visit the team at Timber Mart. They've got the know-how to make sure you come out swinging on your next project. Timber Mart, Canada's building center. Dairon Blanco, Cuban infielder and outfielder, utility player, bats right now. He's playing left field today, and he takes strike 1 on a slider.
The wind is absolutely howling. Picture the flags looking like there's a storm coming in almost.
No rain scheduled in the forecast, though, but a lot different than San Diego. The 0-1. Fastball poked to center field. That'll take Varsho back to about 10 feet in front of the track, but he makes the catch. 2 down. Impressive there for Blanco, who reached out and just kind of one-handed that ball to deep center. Here comes the top of the order, and Michael Garcia with 2 outs. Kikuchi's only thrown 4 pitches this inning.
And that's big for him. He's a 5-inning, 5-and-dive type of guy. You'd love to see for him to go 7 maybe. I can't remember the last time he went 7. I'm sure it was last year at some point, but
first pitch to Garcia, called strike 1.
I would love for him to go 100 pitches, 7 innings. That would be so great for his confidence.
2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd. 3-0 Blue Jays. Base is empty. Garcia's 0 for 1. Kikuchi got him to ground out to 3rd. The 0-1. Popped up. Back of second. This will be the right fielder, George Springer's ball. He calls off Biggio and makes the catch. to end the inning. 6 pitches is all Kikuchi needs to retire the Royals on 3 fly balls. We'll go to the 4th inning with Toronto up 3-0. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NFL Draft is on SiriusXM. Take your pick on how to listen with the SiriusXM app.
With the first pick,
NFL Radio brings you every selection and exclusive interviews. 22. Hear insights from the experts that covered the players in college on SiriusXM College Sports Radio. Fantasy Sports Radio forecasts their fantasy football impact. And get instant reaction on Mad Dog Sports Radio. The NFL Draft. Listen live, pause, and rewind. All on the SiriusXM app.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
The Busted Open podcast is now available on YouTube. This is Dave LaGreca, host of Busted Open, the #1 pro wrestling show on the planet. You can now watch and listen to the award-winning Busted Open podcast every single day on YouTube. Our best interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and some of our best content from the past. All available right now when you go to youtube.com/@BustedOpenPodcast. Subscribe right now.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
Radio Network.
The 4th inning is presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Davis Schneider takes ball 1 to lead off the top of the 4th. Toronto up 3-0 on Kansas City. Next pitch is hit hard left side. Sliding stop by Witt. Throws from the left field grass and beats Schneider for the out. What a phenomenal play by the shortstop. 1 down.
Well, the Royals are the best defensive team in the American League. They've only given up 1 unearned run all season long. That's an incredible stat.
It is. They're the best in that stat. Defensive runs saved, for what's worth, they're second best in the American League. Blue Jays are 3rd. Texas Rangers, the World Series champions, are 1st. But they are a really good team. Witt has improved at short in a major way. And he takes a hit away. Here's Danny Jansen, who had a hit stolen from him as well his first time up. He takes strike 1. Jansen lined a ball to center field. Garrett Hampson, who they brought in to platoon in the outfield and in the infield, made a diving catch, and now Jano fouls back another pitch. 0-2. We'll go to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard after Jansen hits. He's up right now with Isaiah Kiner-Falefa on deck. 3-0 Blue Jays. The 0-2. Outside, ball 1. 1 down right now in the top of the 4th. Base is empty. The 1-2 pitch. Low ball 2. Jansen still has the left-hand guard and the right wrist guard. 2-2. Bounce softly to 3rd. Picked up chest high by Garcia. Throw to 1st. 2 outs. The out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Join them for wings, ribs, beer, cocktails, and catch every play at your local St. Louis Bar and Grill. Download the app or visit stlouiswings.com for more details. Always devilishly good. A final already in the AL East. The Yankees played a day game today, hosting the Oakland Athletics. First pitch to IKF, high and tight. Ball 1. The A's shut out the Yankees 2-0. Former Yankee prospect J.P. Sears started for the Athletics and threw 6 shutout innings. 1-0. IKF stings the ball right over the mound and rolling into center field, a base hit. Second time aboard already for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who now adds a hit to his line, which already featured a walk and a run.
Well, Singer just left that ball right over the middle of the plate, and IKF so good at using the big part of the field. He always puts the bat on that baseball, whether it's hit hard or not. That's a different conversation, but he's so good at using the big part of that field.
Hit that one at 98 miles an hour. He takes a lead off first. Kevin Biggio up 1-for-1 with a double. First pitch. Outside, ball 1. Elsewhere on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, Tigers visiting the Rays, and it's 7-0 for Detroit over Tampa Bay. Bottom of the 7th. 1-0 outside again to Biggio. 2-0. Our out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. At Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, it's 3-0 for the Blue Jays. IKF with 3.5 steps off first. A peak from Singer and the 2-0 to Biggio. Low ball 3. 2 quick outs here for Singer, and after the single allowed, he's thrown 3 straight balls and is up to 70 pitches in the 4th inning. His 3-ball offering. Strike. Biggio taking all the way.
That's the exact same pitch that Biggio laced down the line in his last at-bat. Obviously 3-0, you don't want to protect there, so no need to swing at that pitch, but he did damage with it last time.
They don't play him as far off the line this time. 3-1 at the knees for strike 2.
Yeah, you can see that he's looking for something other than a fastball in the outside part of the plate. That was a good pitch down. 3-1, you don't really want to swing at that. He probably could have hit that well, but he's looking for something on the inside part of the plate.
IKF gets the head start here. He takes off on the 3-2, and Biggio loops the ball down the left field line. It's headed toward the seats. It'll bounce off the netting. Still 3-2. Talking about that Biggio take. He is one of the more patient hitters in all of Major League Baseball. That pitch was in the zone, but in terms of chasing, he chases less than anyone in the game right now with 50 plate appearances. IKF off again on the 3-2 pitch from Singer. And Biggio spoils another one, a fastball at the top of the zone, dunked into the seats off to the left.
Not many people there tonight, that's for sure. Monday night in Kansas City.
Windy.
It is 20 degrees, though. I mean, it's a beautiful evening.
The 3-2 again. Biggio bounces a ball foul right side. And he extends this battle to 8 pitches already. The 9th will be the next one from Singer. Biggio with just a quarter swing at the plate. Pinwheels the bat, lifts it, pointing up toward the sky and waggling it over his top shoulder. Check swing on the 3-2, appeal down to third. He went around, and that will end the inning. Biggio strikes out on a slider in the dirt. IKF's 2-out single stranded, and the Blue Jays still lead 3-0 middle of the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
The Blue Jays are inviting you to work from Dome. Put it in your calendar. 307 weekday starts this season. You can work from Dome with friends or coworkers at Rogers Center. It's a game changer. Make the ballpark your office for the afternoon. Work from Dome, 307 weekday starts. Let's touch base. Check out ticket options on bluejays.com/workfromdome.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's building center. Visit timbermart.ca.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss. Eric Swanson strikes out the side.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer today. Tom Young, our technical director. 3-0 Blue Jays over Royals. Bottom of the fourth, Bobby Witt Jr. leads off for Kansas City. The first pitch from Kikuchi is hit off of his right foot. Pinballs to IKF. Throw over to first. Got him! That's the second fastest runner in baseball, and the Blue Jays get a 1-5-3 putout to retire him for out number 1.
Well, that was really lucky. John Schneider's coming out to see if Yusei Kikuchi's okay, but that ball hit right off his ankle, maybe his shoe. Hopefully not his ankle.
Kikuchi just looking down at that foot, testing it out right now. Jose Ministral, the head athletic trainer out there, he's kind of kicking his toe down into the ground. And I think they'll probably have him throw a couple warm-up pitches here. He had kind of turned around and tried to jump out of the way, and it just hit off of his right foot, I think. Yeah, off the toe almost of his right foot as he was bringing his foot up. His toe dangling down a little bit, and it just clipped that and went right to IKF.
Well, it was a great play. It turned out to be a great play for Yusei Kikuchi if he's completely healthy. Just right to IKF, and he makes the good throw to Vlad at first, but let's hope that he's okay. He's kind of stretching it and throwing a couple pitches here.
Kikuchi's been masterful so far. Just threw a pitch, kicks his foot into the dirt. Being watched right now by Jose Ministral and John Schneider. Blue Jays infielders around the mound as well. Asking for 2 more. Tried out the fastball, tried out the curveball. Makes the slider in there as well.
How many pitches has he thrown so far? In this little,
at least 4. I think this is 5.
It seems like a lot. But he seems to be okay, though.
He claps his glove twice and tells home plate umpire Chris Guccione that he's good to go. Still talking with Jose Ministral. But it looks like Kikuchi wants to stay in this game. He chuckles, fist bumps Jose Ministral, the head athletic trainer, and steps back on the rubber.
He just threw a complete game just to see if his ankle was okay.
So 1 pitch, 1 out. Here's Vinny Pasquantino. Brady Singer finished the 4th inning at 75-ish pitches. Yusei Kikuchi at 30 in the game right now. Here's his 31st to Pasquantino. Fastball called strike 1. Mentioned earlier he was an 11th rounder in 2019 out of Old Dominion School in Virginia. Left on left 0-1. Outside. Count evens up.
I believe Justin Verlander went there without me looking it up.
I'll look it up for you.
I went to a mid-major school, so I know a lot about
coast.
Random mid-majors, yeah.
1-1 pitch, fastball at 95 for strike 2. He did.
All
Justin
right.
Verlander, Old Dominion. Now, he wasn't an 11th rounder. He was the 2nd overall pick in 2004. Safe to say a pretty solid pick there by the Tigers. 1-2. Called strike 3. They tried to elevate. Kikuchi missed his spot, but ran the fastball by the knees for strike 3.
And speaking of Justin Verlander, I played against him in college, and he was the exact pitcher in college at Old Dominion at a mid-major school that he was when he was in his prime, just absolutely dealing in the big leagues. He was so good. It was unreal.
He's one of those freaky guys where he starts throwing harder as the game goes on, not getting softer. First pitch to Salvador Perez, inside ball 1. Perez would have seen Verlander a lot in his career, those two playing in the same division for a while. Perez signed with the Royals in 2006.
So not in college.
No, out of Venezuela. 1-0 pitch, hit foul, 1-1. Perez is the captain of the Royals. Just under his right shoulder, there's a blue C. He's the 4th captain ever in Royals history. He's up with 2 outs and the base is empty. 3-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the 4th inning. 1 on the pitch clock, the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Kikuchi really had to get rid of that hot potato and kind of sailed the fastball, but Perez chased it. He's really aggressive, is Salvador Perez.
Yeah, back foot slider here or another fastball up around the letters.
Perez batting .333 coming into this game and 1 for 1 today. 1-2 pitch, bounced the slider.
It looked like they were trying to go backdoor with that slider. That's a rare pitch from him, especially late in the count with 2 strikes. Danny Jansen was set up on the outside part of the plate, so I believe that's where they were trying to go with that.
Jano grabs some dirt, asks for a new baseball. And they'll try to deal with the Royals captain again at 2-2. Kikuchi waves off one sign, now has what he wants. The 2-2. Hit in the air, not very deep, right center. Springer coming in, makes the catch out in front of him for the third out. 1-2-3 for Yusei Kikuchi, who's retired 9 in a row. The Blue Jays lead 3-0 at the end of 4. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, Kelly. I love your Kelly Clarkson Connection channel.
All right. Thank you so much for listening.
The mix is eclectic.
I love music, and I just want to celebrate all of it with you.
It's my favorite now.
Is it worth it? Let me work it.
It is perfect.
This is my heartbeat. The Kelly Clarkson Connection, y'all.
I freaking love your channel.
Oh my God.
Channel 12 and on the Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
It's a home run for Ronald Acuna.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy basketball to getting you ready for the NFL Draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
How you manage your team day in and day out will be the difference in where you finish in 2024.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Scotty Scheffler, for the second time in 3 years, is the Masters champion.
The Masters tournament is over. Next up, the best players in the world head to Valhalla Golf Club for the PGA Championship.
Brooks Koepka is the winner of the 105th PGA Championship.
PGA Championship Radio returns this May on Channel 92 in the car and on the Sirius XM app.
Hey, baseball fans, the NBA postseason is in full swing, and your home for nonstop discussion every day and playoff action on the court every night is Sirius XM NBA Radio Channel 86 and on the brand new Sirius XM app.
Top of the order for the Blue Jays in the top of the 5th inning. 3-0 they lead on the road in the series opener in Kansas City. George Springer hits first, then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette to follow. Springer 0 for 2. Singer winds and deals to Springer. It's called strike 1. Brady Singer, the starter, was a first-rounder for the Royals in 2018. 0-1. Springer hits it in the air to left, tosses his bat away in frustration. A lazy fly ball caught by Blanco for the first out. Interesting thing about Singer, though, is he was drafted out of high school by the Blue Jays, and not one of these guys that gets drafted in the 35th round because they know he's going to college. They picked him in the 2nd round of the 2015 draft, but Singer did not sign with Toronto and went to college instead. His pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. called strike 1. Vladdy with a hit and a walk in 2 trips to the plate today.
And for a guy that doesn't really throw that hard, you see that sometimes with guys like a Garrett Cole. He was a first rounder out of high school.
Next pitch bounced softly up the middle, charging in Witt, gloves it, flips it over to first. 2 outs.
And then he went to UCLA and did well there, but he was always a guy that threw 96 to 99, sometimes 100, whatever. Lights up the radar gun. Obviously, if he doesn't get hurt, he's going to be a first rounder again. But Brady Singer doesn't really have above average stuff, so that I don't know why. I mean, that's rare. That's rare for a guy with average stuff, average velocity to turn down 2nd round money.
First pitch to Bo Bichette, a fellow Floridian, misses high and tight, 1-0. Let's check on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard. Mentioned that the Athletics shut out the Yankees 2-0 today. The 1-0. Bichette hits a high fly ball right field. backing up Hunter Renfroe. He'll make the catch and end the inning. Our out-of-town score brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Blue Jays retired 1-2-3 in the top of the fifth. 3-0 Toronto, middle of the fifth inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NFL Draft is on SiriusXM. Take your pick on how to listen with the SiriusXM app.
With the first pick,
NFL Radio brings you every selection and exclusive interviews.
22.
Hear insights from the experts that covered the players in college on SiriusXM College Sports Radio. Fantasy Sports Radio forecasts their fantasy football impact. And get instant reaction on Mad Dog Sports Radio. The NFL Draft. Listen live, pause, and rewind. All on the SiriusXM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
1 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Worth 400 from Dover Motor Speedway.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah.
On SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yes.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are on top of the women's college basketball world yet again.
Perfection for South Carolina. 38 games, 38 wins.
We're reacting to the perfect season and talking to the biggest names right here on Channel 374.
Congratulations, Coach Saley. What does this particular title mean to you?
This title is pretty special because it was unexpected.
Keep it locked into SiriusXM SEC Radio as we continue to break it all down and celebrate the Gamecocks' third national title.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
At Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Bottom of the fifth, 3-0 Blue Jays. And Yusei Kikuchi's first pitch of the inning gets a swing and a miss from Nelson Velasquez, 0-1. 5-6-7 for the Royals this inning, who only have one hit so far today. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Strike two. After Velasquez, it'll be Hunter Renfroe and then Garrett Hampson. Velasquez was just a huge power hitter last year for the Royals. Only played 40 games for them after being traded from the Cubs. Hit 14 home runs in those 40 games. 0 for 1 today with a line out to second. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Kikuchi puts him down on 3 pitches, and that's his third strikeout of the game.
Well, Velasquez has 25 strikeouts now this season. He's a guy that has a ton of power, but he swings and misses a lot. And Yusei Kikuchi elevates that fastball, and he swings right through it.
Here comes journeyman Hunter Renfroe. Renfroe signing with the Royals in the offseason. Left on right pitch. Popped up. Foul territory, first base side. Jansen gets rid of the mask and makes the catch for the second out. Turner was scrambling over there, but he and Renfroe got a little bit tangled up. Jansen was there, though, to make the play. 2 down. So that brings up Garrett Hampson. Mentioned earlier, former Rocky and former Marlin. Signed a 1 year, $2 million deal with the Royals in November. First pitch, he shows bunt, pulls back, ball 1. 2 outs and the base is empty. 3-0 Blue Jays, home half of the fifth. Corners are in right now, watching out for the bunt. Middle infield plays back and shifted to the pull against the right-handed hitter. 1-0. Hit back foul, 1-1.
Kikuchi is doing such a good job of pounding the strike zone. I know I've said this a lot about him this season because he has been so good. But tonight he's just doing such a good job, just getting ahead and then sprinkling in the off-speed stuff. He's so tough.
33 strikes, 12 balls for Kikuchi. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Got him to chase a slider low, 1-2.
And that's how you pitch. You just throw fastballs at the bottom part of the zone like he's doing, and then you throw that slider that looks like a strike and just drops off the table.
Hampson asks for time. Kikuchi will take a second, look up at the sky. Now back on the rubber, trying to get through 5 scoreless. 2 outs, bases empty, 3-0 Blue Jays. Yusei's 1-2. Lifted foul to the right side.
And then you elevate. But that's like the best pitch sequence I've seen that Yusei has thrown today. Fastball down in the zone, slider down in the zone, and then you elevate that good hard fastball. Hampson just got a piece of it.
1-2 pitch. Popped up, shallow right. Springer coming in, and he makes the catch to end the inning. Blue Jays up 3-0. We'll get to the injury report brought to you by Bergmanis Prira Personal Injury Lawyers when we come back. 6th is next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
It's sports streaming season. This spring, get set for nonstop action on Sportsnet Plus.
Unbelievable.
Every electrifying game of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Did you see that?
All the knockout moments in UFC. Awe-inspiring action from the NBA playoffs. Plus, the Toronto Blue Jays are back in full swing. Catch all the can't-miss moments that matter most to you. Because when it happens in sports, it happens on Sportsnet Plus. Subscribe at sportsnetplus.ca.
Hey, this is Chad Green. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
I was brought up in the front row, that fire and brimstone.
Justin Turner leads off for the Blue Jays in the top of the 6th inning. 3-0 Toronto. Turner, Varsho, and Schneider against Royals starter Brady Singer. Right-hander's first pitch is outside, 1-0. This inning, we'll take a look at the injury report brought to you by Bergmanis Prira Personal Injury Lawyers. First, the 1-0. Inside, 2-0. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count and call Bergmanis Prira Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Prira will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca. Turner fouls off the 2-1. Or the 2-0, and now it's 2-1. He's leading off 3-0 Blue Jays. Bases empty, top of the 6th. John Schneider talked about Alek Manoah, Chad Green, a little bit of Joey Votto mixed in there as well today. The 2-1. Turner hits a hard ground ball foul down the left field line. 2-2. On the subject of Manoah, he threw a side session today and will pitch weather dependent for Buffalo on Wednesday or Thursday. Manoah coming off a 5 2/3 inning 2-run performance for the Bisons, his best so far in terms of rehab appearances. And Salvador Perez, I think, is having to ask for time right now. Home plate umpire Chris Cuccione talking to him in front of the plate. He'll circle back behind. Perez gives him a tap on the shoulder, and we're ready to go again. 2-2 count. Nobody out. Singer looking at the dugout. Now looks at the plate. The right on right pitch. Turner smacks that ball down the left field line. It's foul, and he'll do it again. Chad Green is no longer with the team. He was with them in San Diego, flew back to Toronto. They're still formulating the plan right now for the right-hander who has a teres major strain muscle, like a lat in his back, kind of back of the shoulder. And then nothing major to update, again, was the word on Joey Votto. No live BPs or anything like that yet. Turner lifts the 2-2 pitch down the right field line. Long run for Pasquantino into foul territory. It gets past him and Hunter Renfroe, who is moving there over from right. Justin Turner battling as he often does early on in the 6th inning.
Are we surprised yet by how long it's taking Joey Votto to come back?
John Schneider was, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I have no clue on these things. But John Schneider was asked, and he said that he just thinks it's something where a 40-year-old guy is taking a bit longer to recover than other guys. 2-2 is high, 3-2.
I just feel like when it first happened, it wasn't really that big of a deal. Nobody really thought much of it.
I mean, I wouldn't have guessed it got here, but...
You're not a doctor.
I'm not. 3-2 pitch low. And that's a leadoff walk for Turner. He's aboard for the first time today. Here comes Dalton Varsho. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, it's intermission at TD Garden and in Boston. And the Toronto Maple Leafs have recently tied up the game. A power play goal from John Tavares just seconds after Tyler Bertuzzi's tap-in was disallowed has made it 2-2. And the first pitch to Dalton Varsho, he shows bunt, pulls back, called strike one. 3-0 Blue Jays, no outs, top of the sixth. Turner on first with one strike on Varsho. Dalton's 0 for 2 today. The right on left offering. In there, strike two, and he's had a lot of trouble with Singer, who has struck him out twice. Day could be over soon for the right-hander, Brady Singer. Here's his 93rd pitch of the outing. Instead, he'll turn and throw to first.
Well, Singer spraying that fastball all over the place to 8 of the 9 hitters, but as soon as Dalton Varsho gets up to the plate, he is dotting it on the outside corner. He's throwing that good slider down and in, giving Dalton Varsho fits.
Here's his 93rd pitch of the day, and it's low and in, ball one. This is a season-high 3 earned runs allowed for Singer. He still sports a very impressive ERA in the low 2s. All 3 runs coming on Bo Bichette's third inning triple. 1-2. Varsho hammers the ball, right field. Renfroe back at the wall, runs out of room. It's gone. He did it again. Dalton Varsho with his 6th home run of the season. 5-0 Blue Jays.
Well, Brady Singer missed his spot with that sinker. It was supposed to be a back foot sinker, just like they threw a few times to Dalton Varsho earlier in this game. The same pitch that he swung over, and he left it up. Not middle, but just enough that Dalton Varsho could drop the head and golf that thing over the fence in right field. That's another nice swing from Dalton Varsho. He is on a tear.
6th home run of the year to lead the team. Davis Schneider takes strike one at the knees. Hit that ball 406 feet, way up and way out there to right. 0-1. Schneider takes a pitch low, 1 ball, 1 strike. So now 5-0 Blue Jays. Bases empty, no outs in the 6th. Low 2-1. In San Diego, the Blue Jays often got the early runs, but had trouble adding on. They've added on 2 here in the 6th. Would love to do even more to rest the high-leverage bullpen arms. 2-1 to Schneider is hit well to center. That'll chase Hampson back to the track, but he makes the catch in front of the wall. 1 out.
Yeah, including tonight, the Blue Jays have 10 games without an off day. So that means 13 total games without an off day. You need your starters to go 7 sometimes. You need to blow teams out so you don't have to use those high leverage guys like Jimmy Garcia every single game, because you can't. This is a good thing for this Toronto Blue Jays team, specifically the bullpen.
First pitch to Danny Jansen in there, strike one against the catcher. 1 out, nobody on, 5-0 top of the 6th, and Jansen smokes a ground ball foul. 0-2. Meanwhile, the Royals preparing to get into their bullpen. They have a right-hander getting loose. Singer on the mound right now, and his pitch count in triple digits as he misses outside to Jansen.
I would imagine this is his last hitter.
Yeah, that was his 101st pitch. 1-2, down and away, 2-2. Singer reaching down, adjusting the laces on his shoes as Tyler Duffy, one of the great stories in baseball, getting loose right now. 2-2 pitch. Check swing. Pitch was away. Appeal down to first. No swing. The Royals fans wanted it, but Jansen didn't go around, says Brian Knight, and it's a full count. Payoff pitch. Bouncer to the right side. Picked up by the first baseman Pasquantino. Underhand flip to Singer to retire Jansen. So 2 outs now in the top of the 6th. 5-0 Blue Jays thanks to Dalton Varsho's 2-run homer. And Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is scheduled to hit next.
Dalton Varsho sitting in the the dugout with a big smile on his face. No surprise there.
First pitch to IKF, called strike 1. Singer being left in to try and finish the 6th. IKF has a walk and a single today. Hit a liner right over the mound last time. 0-1. Whiffs on a breaking ball low. 0-2. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, Albert Suarez and the Orioles take on Reed Detmers and the Angels at 9:38 p.m. in Anaheim tonight. The 0-2. Fastball. Called strike 3. Dots the outside edge to finish off the 6th. But the Blue Jays add on. It is the 6th home run of Dalton Varsho's season, extending Toronto's lead to 5-0. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The artists the rest of the world will be talking about in months are on SiriusXM's Next Wave concert series. Now, hear exclusive performances from the top rising stars in rock, R&B, hip-hop, and more. Tap into Who's Next, the Next Wave Concert Series Volume 7. Now in the all-new SiriusXM app. Just search Next Wave.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89. Or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
While you're listening to this game on SiriusXM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's minus 125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, SiriusXM, Channel 159.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Yusei Kikuchi misses low, and we're underway in the bottom of the 6th inning. Blue Jays and Royals battling in Kansas City. It's 5-0 Toronto. Michael Massey at the plate. The next offering to the left-handed hitter. Fastball outside, 2-0. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali's our host and producer today. Tom Young, our technical director. Jays Talk with Blair and Barker coming after the game. Kikuchi swiveling his shoulders, the 2-0. Fastball in there, strike 1. Yusei Kikuchi has faced one above the minimum so far in this game. An infield single from Salvador Perez is all that the Royals have put up. 2-1. It fouled behind him. Behind Massey, the hitter, that is. 2-2.
And the question is, should that have been an error?
And if it was, it would be a no-hitter right now.
You can't go back and change that, though.
At
because
this point, you're not going to.
Yeah.
The 2-2. Breaking ball hit on the ground to second. Picked up by Biggio. A throw over to first. 1 out. And for what it's worth, both of us kind of said, yeah, that makes enough sense as a hit. I mean, it went off the glove of Kiner-Falefa, but it was also hit really hard into the backhand side at third.
The only thing I can think of that would make that an error, and I could be wrong because I don't know the intricacies of scorekeeping, but he went down to pick it up after he bobbled it, and he dropped it out of his glove.
First pitch to Blanco, called strike one. Well, to me, it looked like it hit his knee, though, too, as he was stepping over. And then he missed it. Like, after it hit the glove, it looked to me like he inadvertently kicked it.
Maybe.
And missed it with his glove. Now, do you give him credit for kicking it away? I don't know. But they're not going to change it, so it doesn't matter. 0-1 pitch to Dairon Blanco. High fastball, 1-1. We were talking about saving the bullpen, though, in a stretch of 13 and 13 days. Blue Jays in game 4 of that stretch right now. Kikuchi could do a lot to help that out. He's about to throw his 56th pitch of this start. Breaking ball, loop to center field. Varsho going back, and that one carries all the way and off the wall. Headed into second, Blanco. He got a lot more of that than I thought off the bat. And that'll be a stand-up double with one out.
It seems like the wind is carrying just a little bit to right center there. We saw Bo Bichette earlier on in that game hit the three-run triple to right field, and I thought that Hampson had a beat on that, and then I also thought that Dalton Varsho had a beat on that, and it just hits off the fence in right center.
Varsho turned, played it off the wall. So that'll be a double for Blanco, his second extra base hit and second hit of the year. He's on second for the top of the order. Michael Garcia up. Kikuchi peeks back, fires home. It's a fastball for strike one. Garcia not happy, neither are the fans. Neither is the Royals dugout. However, all of them will look at the iPad after the game and see that that was definitely a strike. Garcia struggling off the jump, hitting 170 this season. Kikuchi's pitch. In there, strike two. That one even lower and still drawing the ire of the Kauffman Stadium crowd.
Both of those pitches very clearly strikes and good pitches.
Garcia's 0 for 2, a ground out and a fly out. Kikuchi trying to strike him out right now. Ahead, no balls, 2 strikes. A look at Blanco on second, the pitch. Left the fastball upstairs, ball one.
They were trying to go up with that fastball. Danny Jansen had that elevated glove, but Kikuchi left it arm side. I think that Garcia probably would have offered at that pitch if it was more over the middle of the plate, but that was way out.
He tries again on 1-2. And tried to go back foot with the slider, but Garcia was wise to it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Michael Garcia really broke through for the Royals last season, played 123 games. A step and a spin over to first. It looked like Kikuchi got the footwork a little mixed up there. He stepped one way and spun the other way, but that was just to chase the runner back. There was no one there to cover even for the throw.
Yeah, neither Bo or Kevin Biggio were even attempting to run to second base. I'm surprised that Kikuchi just didn't do that little thing that he does. Oh my God.
2-2, hit well, left field. Schneider going back. That ball is gone. Michael Garcia with his 4th homer of the season gets the Royals on the board. It's 5-2.
And Yusei Kikuchi leaves that fastball on the inside part of the plate, and Garcia does a good job of getting those hands through, and he drills it to left field. That was maybe the first mistake of the game from Yusei Kikuchi, and Garcia makes him pay for it.
A 409-foot blast for Michael Garcia, slamming the bat down there as he tries to fire up the Kansas City Royals, who now trail 5-2. 1 out, and Bobby Witt Jr. will be the next hitter for Kansas City. Here comes Witt, the right-handed hitter, who's 0 for 2, a strikeout and an unconventional ground out. First pitch swinging, he fouls it back, 0-1. For this season, Bobby Witt Jr. gained a lot more future financial security, signed an 11-year deal worth almost $289 million, although there's some wrinkles to it. Next pitch bounced, 1-1. It's listed as a 7-year, $142 million deal because he has opt-outs after years 7, 8, 9, and 10 of the contract. If he goes the full 11 years, the Royals have a 3-year player option as well. Next pitch is a backdoor slider to make the count 1-2, a strike against Witt. So it could be anywhere from 7 years, $142 million, to 14 years, $378 million for the young shortstop. 1-2 pitch. Fastball inside. For a moment, it looked like Chris Guccione was going to ring up Witt, but he does make the right call, calling it ball 2.
Yeah, Danny Jansen tried to steal that strike, trying to frame it.
5-2 game now. Bases empty. 1 out. The pitch. Witt lines it foul to the right side. Even if you call it the $142 million deal because Witt has the opt-outs, it's the largest contract in Kansas City Royals history. Next closest is the captain, Salvador Perez. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Chased a breaking ball in the dirt. And there are 2 outs.
Well, Kikuchi was pounding Witt in with fastballs, and then he just throws that slider down in the zone that broke almost behind home plate. Yeah, it did bounce. Good pitch from Kikuchi.
Danny Jansen picked it, applied the tag. Here's Vinny Pasquantino just to tie a bow on it. The Perez deal, which was the largest in Royals history in 2021, 4 years, $82 million. Pitch to Pasquantino is ripped foul behind him. 0-1. 2 runs in this inning for the Royals. Blue Jays had a 2-run homer in the top of the 6th. Royals responded with a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 6th. It's 5-2 Toronto. 2 outs, bases empty. And the 0-1 to Pasquantino. Swing and a miss. Ugly hack there at the high heater. 0-2. Even with more traffic this inning, Kikuchi a pitch away from getting out of the 6th. And about to throw his 70th pitch of the game. Left-hander tucks the ball into his glove. Holds it belt high. Rears back and fires. And it's a breaking ball. Bounce to first. Backing up, Turner gloves it. Throws wide of Kikuchi. And down the first baseline. It's picked up by Jansen backing it up. Turner had to run back and actually made the throw from just on the right field grass. And it tailed off to the right. So that'll likely be an error there on Justin Turner and will extend the inning.
Well, that's such a tough play, even for a guy as good as Vladimir Guerrero. But for a guy like Justin Turner, who doesn't play first base as much, to hit the pitcher running, almost like a quarterback hitting a receiver, is so hard, and he throws it behind Yusei Kikuchi, actually by a wide margin. He wasn't even really close to making that play, but that is such a tough play, especially deep in that hole there in right field.
Haven't seen a scoring decision yet, but regardless, it's Pasquantino on first. Salvador Perez about to come up to the plate, and Kikuchi steps off and just fakes a throw over to first. So here's Perez, 1 for 2, infield single and a flyout. The pitch. Fastball popped up, out of play, behind the plate. 0-1. They give Pasquantino a single on that play.
I don't know if I agree with that. Even though I don't know the intricacies of scorekeeping, I don't know if I agree with that.
It's a play that maybe also would have been easier made by the second baseman Biggio. The 0-1. In the dirt, blocked by Jansen. He actually picks it and clutches it near his chest. 1 ball, 1 strike.
We've seen Vladimir Guerrero make that play, or at least similar plays, all season long with ease. So I can't really imagine why they would give that a base hit.
So Turner escapes the error. He's holding on the runner, the 1-1. In the dirt, blocked by Jansen. He scrambles to get back on it, snaking around the legs of Salvador Perez. Pasquantino holds up at first. 5-2 Blue Jays, 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. The Royals' offensive awakening and then that inning-extending infield hit right there have got the pitch count up a bit. 1-2, or pardon me, 2-1. Swung on and missed. 2-2.
Salvador Perez with a huge swing there. You can tell exactly what he's trying to do. Just swings over the top of that slider from Yusei Kikuchi.
6 homers this year for Perez. And when Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit 48 in 2021, Perez tied him for the major league lead and actually led the majors in RBIs that year. He was a batting average away from a triple crown. Two count. The pitch from Kikuchi. smoke to left, and that'll get down beyond Schneider and roll into the wall. Pasquantino headed to third. He'll stop there. The relay throw coming back in as Perez jogs into second with a stand-up double.
Danny Jansen wanted that slider down from Kikuchi, and he kind of threw one of those backup spinners, and it just spun over the middle of the plate into a guy like Salvador Perez. He's not going to miss many of those, and he doesn't miss that one, hitting a good line drive into left field.
Second hit of the game for Perez. And for the Kansas City Royals, they have 4 hits this inning, 3 extra base hits. And that's going to draw Pete Walker out to the mound to talk to Yusei Kikuchi, who's had a long inning. Second and third with Perez on second and Pasquantino on third. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th inning. 5-2 for the Blue Jays, and with all this trouble this inning, Toronto now has to get Jimmy Garcia.
Yeah, that's exactly what we didn't want to see. We don't want to see those high leverage guys have to throw every other day. So when we get to July, those guys aren't burnt out. You have to be able to save the guys now so they're still effective July, August, September.
Pete Walker back in the dugout. Yusei Kikuchi back on the rubber. Here's Nelson Velasquez. 0 for 2 with a soft line out and a strikeout. Second and third, 2 down. The pitch. Inside, ball 1. Velasquez has driven in 7 so far this season. He's traded some of that power last year for a little bit more average this year. The 1-0. Popped up off the handle. Jansen looks left now, scrambles to the right, but it'll get just beyond the first base dugout where the Kansas City Royals are and into that front row of seats. 1-1.
And Nelson Velasquez has a ton of power with those 14 homers last year. Only has 2 homers this year, but he also swings and misses a lot. 25 Ks already this season, so you need to expand here with 1 strike on him.
Some new baseballs being brought out. Yusei Kikuchi now steps on the rubber once again and looks toward Danny Jansen. The 1-1 in the dirt, blocked by Jano. 2-1. Two right-handers warming up right now for Kansas City. John Schreiber and Tyler Duffy, who was up last inning. KC can make it a 1-run game potentially with a single. It's Perez on second, Pasquantino on third. With 2 down, the 2-1. Swing and a miss. He did get him to chase there on a fastball high. 2-2.
Yeah, you can tell that he swings at some pitches out of the zone. That pitch was about a ball above that strike zone there. Not a bad pitch to swing at, but you can really see that you can expand the zone and kind of either bury something or elevate something here.
Here comes Kikuchi's 2-2. Fouled off. Went away with the fastball. 97 from Yusei, and it was just tipped off the end of the bat by Velasquez. Kikuchi's thrown 80 pitches now. Was in the 50s when this inning started. 2-2 once more. Ground ball, left side, backhanded by Bichette. His long throw to first, there in time to end the inning. The Royals scored 2 runs on 4 hits. It's the 2-run shot from Michael Garcia that has Kansas City back in it. 5-2 headed to the 7th for Toronto. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
When you have an iconic look like Danny Jansen, picking new glasses can be tough.
Too big, too small, too cool, too much, too 90s, too futuristic. I think I'm just going to stick with the originals. These are working just fine.
He is really seeing the ball well.
Your friends will do a double take when they see you in your Danny Jansen new blue replica jersey and glasses.
And he's got some style.
On Monday, April 29th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a Jano bundle. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep.
Because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better. So they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Bases loaded. The 0-2 swung on and missed. Strike 3.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 7th inning, Cavan Biggio to lead off. It's 9-1-2 for Toronto. They're up 5-2, and Tyler Duffy, the right-hander, has entered the game. Duffy making his first appearance of the season, had surgery in February because he had melanoma. He has 40 stitches in his upper back. He delivers the first pitch, and it's inside 1-0. A guy who pitched for a long time with the Twins, twice last year for the Cubs. And a lot of baseball watching in his first appearance of this season. The 1-0. Breaking ball in there, strike 1. His entrance finishes the day for Brady Singer. 1-1 to Biggio. Low ball 2. No, they called that pitch a strike. 1-2. That looked way low of the knees, but Biggio now behind in the count. Duffy, the right-hander, nods, winds, delivers, and Biggio lays off a back foot slider. 2-2. For Brady Singer, he goes 6 innings in the start today, gives up 5 runs, 5 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. 2-2 to Biggio. Bounced foul. Cavan's 1 for 2 today. His double kick-started the 3-run rally in the 3rd inning. 2-2. Low ball 3. Bo Bichette would knock in all 3 guys when the bases were loaded with a triple. Duffy kicking around dirt, flips the ball from his glove into his right hand and tucks it back in the glove. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Biggio goes down for the first out of the inning, and the first strikeout this season for Tyler Duffy.
That was a great 3-2 pitch. You don't really see hammer curveballs like that very often. That was a great 12-6 curveball, and he throws it 3-2 to the leadoff guy. Right down the middle, Cavan Biggio swings right over it.
You can see a finger sticking up. It's a knuckle curve for Duffy, who delivers to Springer, and he grounds that curveball foul into the camera well just beyond the third base dugout. 0-1. Duffy's got an unusually varied mix for a reliever. The 0-2. Pardon me, the 0-1 hit foul. 0-2. I am going off his 2022 pitches because he only pitched twice last year, so it was hard to really tell. But in 2022, threw a 4-seamer, a knuckle curve, a sinker, a slider, a changeup, and then a slower curveball that, rather than the 80-ish he gets on the knuckle curve, is more like 70. He misses with that knuckle curve right there, and it's 1-2. One out, bases empty, 5-2 Blue Jays, top of the 7th. The pitch to Springer. Off the end of the bat, foul down the third base line, picked up by third base coach Carlos Fablis.
I was always envious of guys that could throw a good knuckle curve because I tried to throw a knuckle curve when I was in college and early on in my career just because it's so nasty. I've never seen a knuckle curve that's not nasty, but it gave me a blister on the top of my index finger.
Springer hits a sharp ground ball up the middle, speared on the forehand side by Witt, double clutches, throws to first, beats Springer by a half step. 2 down. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, still nothing to separate the Maple Leafs and the Bruins at TD Garden. 2-2 game with just under 13 minutes to go in the third period. And Jacob Swayman, who played masterfully in net for Boston, last game just robbed Nick Robertson in front of the net on a rebound to keep the score knotted up. That's our look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Here's the pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Called strike one. That looked like the slower curve maybe, although it was still 79 from Duffy.
A ton of downward action on that pitch.
0-1. Swing and a miss on another curve by Guerrero. Chased one in the dirt, 0-2. Vlad's got a hit and a walk today. Came around to score in the third. Also grounded out in the fifth. 2-strike pitch with 2 outs. Really missed big there with the breaking ball. Bounced it way in front of the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, obviously tried to do too much there. He bounced that in the middle of the left-hander's batter's box, and Vlad kind of just watches it go by.
Guerrero hoists his black bat above his right shoulder. The 1-2. Fouls off another breaking ball. That was a little bit tighter. Looked like the slider from Tyler Duffy. Will take the ball back, trying to get through his first inning back after surgery for melanoma. 1-2 pitch. High fastball. Guerrero lays off.
He thought about it though. Vlad, you could tell he almost offered at it.
Started to rotate, but held it up at probably a quarter of the way. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Vlad almost slamming the bat down, but keeps it in his hands. He goes down on a middle fastball, and it's a 1-2-3 inning with 2 strikeouts for Tyler Duffy. 7th inning stretch at Kauffman Stadium. 5-2 Toronto. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
Which Looney Dogger are you? The Fork and Knifer, Splatterer, Condiment Queen, or Big Dipper? This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. You will have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the stadium. Then show the world your Looney Dog style. Because whether you're the mustard maven or ketchup king, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. So don't miss out on this deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's, every Tuesday home game.
Tuesdays on City TV. This season can change someone's life.
That was incredible.
Dreams are on the line.
I really believe you could win. You've got talent.
I love you.
This is where you belong.
You were perfect.
There can only be one winner. We are rooting for you.
For me, it is an absolute yes, sir!
This is what I am here for, y'all.
Canada's Got Talent. All new Tuesdays 8/7 Central on City TV or stream it on City TV Plus.
I put my heart on my lips. I gave it all I could give.
This is Kevin Biggio, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Bottom of the 7th inning, and Yusei Kikuchi's day is done. Eric Swanson takes over for Toronto, trying to protect a 5-2 lead in the bottom of the 7th. Pinch hitter the other way, too, for Kansas City. Adam Frazier will come in and hit for Hunter Renfroe to get a left-handed hitter in against the right-handed pitcher Swanson. Swanson curls back and fires. Missed up and in with the fastball to start his outing.
And in Swanson's last outing on April 20th against San Diego, it wasn't so much the pitch velocity and the stuff, it was the command.
His 1-0 is a fastball hit foul, 1-1.
He was in the zone, but he was throwing pitches almost down the zone or down the middle or belt high, very hittable pitches. Strikes, but not good strikes.
Gave up a run in an inning in San Diego. 1-1. Splitter low. Frazier lays off 2-1. Adam Frazier knows the Blue Jays well, and they know him well. He's hit .315 against Toronto in 20 games, and particularly was a pain to the Blue Jays with Seattle 2 years ago. Swanson missed his high and away 3-1. When these two were actually teammates, Eric Swanson and Adam Frazier. Frazier was really good in the wild card round, went 4 for 9 in the 2 games against the Blue Jays with a double. 3-1 pitch. Fastball smoked on the right field line. Fair ball bouncing into the corner. Springer goes to pick it up. Frazier around first. He'll head into second with a leadoff stand-up double.
And again, it's not so much the velocity. That's about where he sits, 93, 94. But he throws that pitch right down the middle. And Adam Frazier, any big leaguer, really is going to hit that ball hard. And Adam Frazier drills it into the corner in right field.
So Frazier aboard with the Blue Jays leading 5-2. Again, we're in the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Joe Ali, our host and producer, Tom Young, our technical director. And Danny Jansen going out to the mound. A meeting right now because another pinch hitter is coming in. A lot of the guys that they start often but hit from the left side are coming into the game. So out goes Garrett Hampson, a second straight pinch hitter. It's going to be Kyle Isbell.
Eric Swanson really has to throw strike one here. If you throw strike one, then you can expand the zone, you can elevate, you can bury that splitty. I think throwing strike one here is the most important thing. Make a good pitch down and away, get ahead in the count.
And left versus right shouldn't be too much of a bother for Eric Swanson. He's got that splitter that works against lefties really well. Also mixes in the breaking ball. First pitch splitter is hit in the air. Center field. Varsho backing up into right center. Backpedaling onto the track. Makes the catch. Frazier will tag and head to third. There's the first out. But now Frazier 90 feet away from scoring.
And like I've said a few times, it's not the pitch. It's just the location of it. That was a split finger that was supposed to be down in the zone. You could see Danny Jansen's target was down and away. And Eric Swanson just leaves that ball about belt high, and Isbell almost gets it out of here.
For the Blue Jays, it doesn't look the cleanest right now, but ugly or pretty, they need to get Swanson going here, especially with Chad Green on the IL. So they got to put him in some games. First pitch to Michael Massey is a splitter hit foul. 0-1.
That was a good one right there.
That one was right on the outside edge and at the bottom of the zone.
And that's where he was last year when he was good. He was dotting up that splitty. He could throw it to any part of the strike zone whenever he wanted.
Sub-3 ERA last year. Corners in for the Blue Jays. Runner on third, one out, the 0-1. Bounce to first. Turner's going to come home with the runner coming, and Jansen applies the tag. They got him. Turner delivers a strike to the plate. They were going on contact, and Adam Frazier is gunned down trying to score. 2 down on the fielder's choice.
Well, Justin Turner made a bad throw earlier on in the game trying to get Yusei Kikuchi running to first base, but he throws a strike there to Danny Jansen, and Danny Jansen just applies the tag to Frazier trying to slide by him.
Jansen was in front of the plate, and it wasn't the easiest tag. Frazier slid to the wide side of it. Jano reached out, though, and Frazier actually wasn't really headed for home plate. He slid so wide that he might not have touched it with his foot and would have had to reach back. So 2 outs now, runner on first. Here's Dyrone Blanco. Swanson looking for his first scoreless appearance so far. The pitch off the end of the bat, popped up down the right field line. That'll slice foul and get back into the seats about 7 or 8 rows up. 0-1.
Well, that was a big run right there for not only for the Royals but for the Blue Jays, because Garcia coming into this game presumably in the 8th inning. It's less of a high stress inning, and then Romano coming in the 9th. It's a less of a stressful inning, and that's very important for relievers.
Here's the 0-1. Missed low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Also gives the Blue Jays the opportunity, with 3, 4, 5 coming up next inning, if they can add on, maybe avoid using some of those guys. This is the first of 4 games in Kansas City. The Blue Jays come home. They play the Los Angeles Dodgers at home for 3. Then they get Kansas City at home for 3 again. Swanson peeks over his left shoulder at the runner with 2 outs, the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Another good splitter. And it does look like, while there have been some mistakes, he's finding it throughout this outing.
Yeah, he's starting to find it. The only thing you don't want from a guy that throws a lot of change-ups, a lot of split fingers, is that belt-high splitty.
Swanson's 1-ball, 2-strike pitch. Splitters, swing and a miss, strike 3. After the leadoff double, Eric Swanson pitches out of trouble with the help of a great defensive play by Justin Turner, and Swanson has his first scoreless inning of the season. 1 stranded after 1 hit. 5-2 Blue Jays. We go to the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Fantasy Sports Radio is introducing you to the future stars of fantasy football at the NFL Draft. With the first pick. Hear pick-by-pick analysis from the fantasy football perspective. Find out which rookies you need to draft if you want to win your league.
Marvin Harrison is the best wide receiver prospect I've ever seen.
The NFL Draft lives on Fantasy Sports Radio, starting Thursday night at 8 Eastern on Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Get ready for the 2024 NFL Draft on Sirius XM NFL Radio.
Touchdown, Caleb Williams.
Catch exclusive interviews with the top prospects as they begin their journey to the NFL. And hear pick-by-pick coverage of the 2024 Draft from Detroit.
With the first pick, the Chicago Bears select.
Your home for the 2024 NFL Draft is Sirius XM NFL Radio Channel 88 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
We're talking college basketball on ACC Today.
Great run for NC State men's basketball. The story of this team is one I don't think anybody will forget.
They were able to accomplish a lot. They captured the hearts and the minds of the nation. DJ Burns became an absolute star nationally.
I love it.
ACC Today, weekdays from 8 to 11 a.m. Eastern. ACC Radio, Channel 371, and the Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Network.
Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Top of the 8th inning, Tyler Duffy, the reliever in his second inning of work for Kansas City, starts off Bo Bichette with strike 1. 5-2 Blue Jays top 8. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Here's the 0-1. Bichette hits a liner foul, 0-2. Bo Bichette, Justin Turner, and Dalton Varsho will bat for the Blue Jays this inning. They'd love to stretch out their lead after KC made it closer in the 6th. Toronto having to go to high leverage relievers early on. 0-2. High ball 1. Eric Swanson pitched a scoreless inning for the Blue Jays in the bottom of the 7th. Faced a couple of pinch hitters also who remain in the game defensively. First the 1-2 to Bo. Bounced, but Bo might have gone around. He did. That's a strikeout for out number 1. Adam Frazier pinch hit in the spot of Hunter Renfroe. Renfroe was the right fielder, but Frazier will go to left field, and they'll bump Dairon Blanco from left to right. And then Kyle Isbell, who pinch hit for the center fielder Garrett Hampson, remains in center field.
Well, Eric Swanson did a good job of figuring it out during that inning. He threw 2 or 3 floating splitties to Adam Frazier, and Adam Frazier drilled that double down the line. And then after that, he was pretty on.
First pitch to Justin Turner, down and away, 1-0. Turner should get a pretty big chunk of credit for the scoreless inning, too. With a runner on third and 1 out, he threw out Frazier trying to score on a grounder to first. 1-0. Swing and a foul back, 1-1. New baseball for the right-hander Duffy. He's staring at it right now, tucks it into his glove. 1-1 to Justin Turner. Outside, ball 2. Turner 0 for 2 today, a fly out, a ground out, a walk, and a run scored. 2-1 pitch. Inside, Turner ducks his elbow out of the way. It's 3-1.
Turner's so good at taking those close pitches. 2 really close takes in a row. Although that last one he probably wouldn't have swung at anyways, but good take nonetheless.
3-1 is called high, ball 4. Borderline pitch, but Turner sold it right away, going to the shin guard, and he'll head down to first with his second walk of the day.
Good actor right there. He goes right, like you said, he goes right to that that shin guard, starts taking it off even before the home plate umpire has a chance to make a call.
Hey, you spent all that time in L.A. A little bit of the show business has to rub off on you. Join in on Friday, May 10th to celebrate Cricket Night at the park, presented by TD, filled with cricket activities throughout the ballpark, including cricket batting cages and celebrating Canada qualifying for the World Cup. Plus, the first 15,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays white cricket hat giveaway. Visit bluejays.com/cricket to get your ticket today. Pinch runner for Justin Turner. The Blue Jays clearly valuing trying to get up 4 runs here and maybe ease off on the bullpen. Bring Kevin Kiermaier in to pinch run in the place of Turner. So Kiermaier at first, Varsho at the plate, the pitch. High and outside, ball 1. Dalton Varsho 1 for 3, struck out and couldn't touch it at all in his first 2 at-bats. In the third one, he pummeled a slider over the right field wall. Throw over to first, and Kiermaier dives back in safely.
And the Blue Jays are in the midst of a 13-game no off-day streak. So if they don't have to use Garcia or Romano, they'll be very, very pleased.
2-0 pitch misses low, or 1-0 pitch misses low, 2-0. Varsho bangs the barrel of his bat off his front right foot and steps into the box. Open stance for the left-handed hitter. The righty Duffy delivers his 30th of the day. Misses outside. 3 balls and no strikes. The fans don't love it, but again, these are big misses, not small misses.
Well, Salvador Perez is doing a really good job of framing those pitches. I think that's why they actually look like strikes. They certainly are not strikes, but Salvador Perez very savvy back there.
3-0 to Varsho. High and outside, ball 4. 4-pitch walk to Dalton Varsho after the 5-pitch walk to Justin Turner. And 2 are on right now with Davis Schneider coming up. There's going to be a mound visit.
I wouldn't mind if Kevin Kiermaier puts some pressure on the defense and tries to steal third here.
With 1 out, it's the situation that you would do it in theory. Blue Jays do have back-to-back powerful hitters coming up, though, on the other hand, in Schneider and Jansen. I wouldn't be shocked if it happens.
Varsho at first base, of course. He can take second. Double steal.
You just got to be real careful with a guy like Salvador Perez, who's got a shelf full of gold gloves.
He is aging, though.
He is 33. A look at Kiermaier and the pitch. Davis Schneider takes strike 1. 1 out. Dalton Varsho on first. Kevin Kiermaier on second. Duffy tucks the ball into his glove chest high. Peeks back at Kiermaier and the pitch. Down and away, ball 1.
And Dalton Varsho isn't taking a normal lead. He's actually taking a lead facing Kevin Kiermaier at second base, so he can see if Kevin Kiermaier takes off, he goes right behind him.
No hold on Varsho, which helps him. 1-1. Sunk in there for strike 2 through that fastball that broke back arm side and hit the outside part of the plate. Schneider's 0 for 3 today. He's hit 2 balls pretty hard, though. A sliding stop by Bobby Witt at short and then a line out to center have been 2 of the 3 outs. 1-2. Down and away. Davis Schneider won't swing. It's 2-2. Danny Jansen on deck. Blue Jays up 5-2 in the top of the 8th. A big swing would do a lot for them trying to hold on to this game and maybe the couple days after this. 2-2. In the dirt, ball 3.
And the outfield is actually playing in a little bit because they don't want to give up that bloop single and potentially have that run score from second base.
Schneider with a couple underhand golf swings, stretching out his arms and ready to go. 1 out, the full count pitch. Line drive caught at first by Pasquantino, turns and throws to second to double up Kiermaier. Looked like a ball that might score a pair of runs. Instead, it produces a pair of outs and ends the inning. No runs on no hits for the Blue Jays. 1 left on. They're up 5-2, middle of the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep. Because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
The chase for the greatest trophy in sport is on.
Listen to this building.
The Stanley Cup playoffs are here on Sportsnet.
Are you ready for this?
Be here for all the history.
Big stage, big stars. Let's go.
Be here for the action.
Who is going to be the hero tonight?
Every shift, every goal can make all the difference.
This is what the Stanley Cup playoffs are all about.
Stanley Cup champions.
The Cup is here on Sportsnet.
Hey, this is Danny Jansen. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. Bottom of the 8th inning, the Blue Jays continue to go into their bullpen. Jimmy Garcia faces the top of the order for the Royals. Michael Garcia batting right now for Kansas City, and Jimmy rears back and fires. Michael leans back on the pitch that lands inside, 1-0. Third pitcher for Toronto today after Yusei Kikuchi went 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 4 Ks. Here's the 1-0. Swinging a fly ball to center. Kevin Kiermaier now camped out there after he pinch ran last inning. He makes the catch, 1 down. So it was 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 4 Ks for Kikuchi. And then for Eric Swanson, he pitched a scoreless inning, 1 hit, no walks, 1 strikeout. And now Jimmy Garcia tries to continue his string of dominance, sporting an 0.87 ERA through 10 games and just pretty much striking out everybody. Here's Bobby Witt Jr. with 1 down. First pitch. Sinker whizzes in there for strike 1.
Well, not only is it the stuff of Jimmy Garcia, we've seen that sinker up to 100 this season. It's more so the location for me. He can throw that fastball and that slider wherever he wants in any count.
His 0-1. Missed with the slider outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And right on cue, he's way off.
That's the golden rule. Witt 0 for 3 today. 2 strikeouts and a ground out up the middle. 1-1. Grounds it up the middle. This time it evades the shortstop Bichette and gets into center. Kiermaier cuts it off. He'll throw it back into second. On the defensive changes for the Blue Jays, Kiermaier pinch running, goes into play center field. You have Dalton Varsho move over into left field. It was Turner who was removed. Then you bump Davis Schneider from left field to second base, and you move Kevin Biggio from second base to first base, so no one's really in a position out of the norm. 1 on, 1 out, 5-2 Blue Jays, bottom of the 8th. The pitch to Vinny Pasquantino. Left-handed hitter takes strike 1.
And there's that backdoor slider that Jimmy Garcia has been so good at throwing this season to lefties. Just sneaks in a quick strike there on the outside part of the plate. So good.
Garcia set at the belt, a look over his left shoulder. He rears back and fires. Fastball hit foul right over the heart of the plate, but guys just don't seem to be on it, as Pasquantino sent that one over his head and into the seats.
Well, there's also a lot of movement. He did just see that backdoor slider, so he's thinking maybe he's going to throw the back foot slider there, the elevated heater. Jimmy's just been so good at throwing everything this season.
With 1 out, his 2-strike pitch. High with the fastball, ball 1. Bobby Witt on first. Has a ton of speed if they want to get him going. 4 stolen bases this year. 49 last year. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Changeup broke way to the arm side and had Pasquantino leaning out over the plate as he waved past it. 2 down.
Yeah, that changeup started almost down the middle, and then it just ran all the way back to the almost the middle of the right-handed batter's box. That had a ton of movement on it.
Here's Salvador Perez. With a runner on first and 2 down, the first pitch is grounded off the top of the glove of Garcia. Picked up by Schneider. He'll throw over to first and end the inning. So 1 hit, but a scoreless frame for Jimmy Garcia, who sends us to the 9th in a 5-2 game in favor of Toronto. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Generations of rock superstars, pop icons, and decades of songs that shaped our lives all have one thing in common: Clive Davis. Hear the songs and stories direct from the legendary record executive himself.
It was never work. It became a love affair with music.
The Clive Davis Channel, for a limited time starting Friday on Channel 79 and the Sirius XM app.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Each night after the horn sounds, NBA Radio has you covered with the best analysis of all the games.
When healthy, they check a lot of boxes.
We'll break down the playoff action.
Durant, left wing 3 again. This one goes again. All net for Kevin Durant.
And take you inside the locker room to hear from the players and coaches.
I thought it was our most connected game. Defensively, we're so physical.
Hear the NBA Radio Playoffs postgame show every night throughout the postseason on NBA Radio Channel 86 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
The UFC is on SiriusXM. Hear all the action live from the Octagon every weekend on SiriusXM Fight Nation Channel 156.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer today. Tom Young, our technical director. 5-2, the Blue Jays lead the Kansas City Royals. First game of this series. And a new pitcher is into the game right now for the Royals. To pitch the 9th inning, Nick Anderson will come on, making his 10th appearance of the season. He comes in after 2 scoreless innings from Tyler Duffy. Anderson facing 7-8-9, starting with Danny Jansen. The pitch. Breaking ball, strike 1. 4.5 ERA so far this year for the right-hander. 0-1. Low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Some may remember Anderson pitching against the Blue Jays when he was a Ray. 1-1 pitch is hooked foul, 1-2. Pitched for the Braves last year did Anderson, but hit the 60-day in July with a shoulder strain. Was traded to the Royals for cash considerations in November as the Braves were shifting around spots on their 40-man roster. 1-2 pitch to Jansen. Fouls off a fastball. Jano's 0 for 3. A line out and 2 groundouts, robbed of a hit by a diving catch back in the second. 1-2. High. Jansen started his swing and then pulls his hands out of the way there because that pitch was running up and in. 2-2. Jansen taps the plate, looks out at Anderson. The pitch. Inside again. He jerks back. 3-2. It was in spring training that he got hit by a pitch on the right wrist, broke the pisiform bone. And that's why he's wearing the special protector that John Schneider called a little bit Avengers. on his right wrist. 3-2 pitch. Smoke down the left field line. Just lands fair and is rolling into the corner. Jansen around first. He'll jog into second. It's his third hit of the season and third double of the season. Stand-up double to start the top of the ninth.
Yeah, that must feel good for Danny Jansen. He hasn't hit the ball overly hard to start this season. That's just his third base hit. But he hits that ball. He kind of golfs it. That slider that was down from Anderson, he golfs it just down the line. That was about 2 feet fair. Just inside that foul line there.
Blue Jays up 5-2. Jordan Romano warming, but they'd love to extend the lead. The pitch to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa shows bunt, pulls it back. The umpire, Chris Guccione, danced out of the way of that breaking ball. It was actually caught by Perez, but that missed way high. 1-0. Kiner-Falefa brought the bat out early there, though, looking like he was going to sacrifice. Now he swings away and hits a fly ball to center, not very deep. It'll be caught there by Kyle Isbell. 1 out.
Well, something you don't see very often from the Blue Jays is sacrifice bunting, and you can tell that that run out at second base is very, very important. They don't want to use Jordan Romano. They will if they have to, but it would be beneficial to that bullpen and this team if Jordan Romano is fresh tomorrow and going forward.
Probably need a hit to get in this run with Jansen still on second now and 1 out. Here's Cavan Biggio, 1 for 3. Double and a run scored. First pitch he sees is fouled back, 0-1. Blue Jays up 5-2, and on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, we have a final from TD Garden. First, Anderson set below the belt, brings the glove up to his chest, looks at Jansen, and delivers. Called strike 2. The Toronto Maple Leafs come back and beat the Boston Bruins 3-2. A little Charlie Conway triple deke by Austin Matthews on a breakaway before slotting it in the top shelf. Gave Toronto a 3-2 lead. They'd hold on. Next pitch to Biggio is high. 1-2. So the Maple Leafs have evened up the series with the Bruins, coming back to Toronto in just a couple days.
This is the most excited I've ever seen you. Ever.
1-2 pitch in the dirt. 2-2. You must not have been looking then for that Davis Schneider home run in Houston. Blue Jays up 5-2. 1 out and Jansen on second. 2-ball, 2-strike count. And the right on left pitch to Cavan Biggio. Grounded softly up the middle, picked up by Witt, running away from the back. He throws back toward first base to get the out. Jansen advances 90 feet, but now 2 down. Here comes George Springer.
Witt makes that play looks so easy. It was actually pretty tough. A really slow roller from Cavan Biggio, but he just fields it with that quick transfer and then kind of that low sidearm throw. He's really good over there.
Yeah, he's made 4 plays on ground balls in this game. One of them sliding into the outfield. Certainly has the arm. Pitch to George Springer, bounced up the middle. Witt crossing over the middle of the diamond, picks it up, throws to first. Make that a 5th play on a ground ball for Bobby Witt. And his throw over to first ends the inning. So the leadoff double stranded by Jansen, and Jordan Romano strides out of the bullpen looking to save this game. 5-2 the Blue Jays lead. Bottom of the 9th. Coming up next, you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're 2 men and a truck, and we've got lots of men and lots of trucks. Whether you're planning a move to a new home or to a new office down the hall, big or small, we move them all. We even sell packing and moving supplies. But no matter what you need, we'll do it with a smile. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. So when you're planning your next move, call 2 Men and a Truck.
2 Men and a Truck.
the movers who care.
Hey, this is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Jays lead the Royals 5-2 as we head to the bottom of the ninth inning in KC. Hey, we have a final score from TD Garden. Let's hear how it went.
Off the boards, it comes up on the wing. A long lead pass for Matthews. Matthews is in alone. Scores! Holy Mackinac! Big Pappy has given the Leafs the lead.
That is Joe Bowen with the call. Leafs hold on to that 3-2 score. They even the series. Leafs talk with Bunkus, McKee, and Bourne on the air right now on YouTube and Sportsnet Plus. Blue Jays Baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Jays lead at 5-2 as we head to the bottom of the ninth inning. Jordan Romano on the mound. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thanks, Joe. Nothing like a postseason Holy Mackinac. The great Joe Bowen. Blue Jays trying to close out a win as well. They're up 5-2 right now on the Royals. Romano into the game to take on the middle of the order. It starts with Salvador Perez. Romano kicks and delivers. Swing and a miss. Strike one. Fourth appearance of the season for the right-hander. In two previous save opportunities, he's come through both times. Next pitch high, 1-1. And pardon me, Nelson Velasquez leading off right now. Perez was the last out of last inning, but the pretty much equally imposing Velasquez stands at the right side. 1-1 count. Romano offers. Missed outside with a fastball at 95. And it's 2-1.
And Jordan Romano's looked pretty solid. His first outing, he was a little bit shaky, but since then he's been pretty good.
A deep breath. The 2-1. Slider pokes to right field. Coming in Springer. He stops, has it off to his left. One down. Blue Jays fans, this is your chance to get even closer to the action. The outfield walls have been brought in down both baselines at Rogers Center, and that means great views of the ball game and great views of the spectacular catches in the outfield. Visit BlueJays.com/ticket packs to learn more. 5-2 Toronto, one out, bottom of the ninth. Blue Jays have won 6 of 8 games. First pitch to Adam Frazier, called strike one.
And if Romano gets this save, it'll be his 100th career save.
A guy who was a starter all the way up through the minors until really the last kind of stages of it. 0-1, called strike two. And over the last 2.5 years has been about as good as the Blue Jays have had in decades in that back end role. Back-to-back All-Star appearances for Markham's own Jordan Romano. The 0-2. Slider tapped foul.
And his slider right now looks better than I think at any point last year. It was a little bit side to side last year, and it looks like it has a lot of depth right now, a lot of downward action to it, which I really like.
0-2 again. Swing and a miss at that slider in the dirt. Strike three. 2 outs now for Romano. Here comes Kyle Isbell.
1 out away from his 100th career save. Who would have thought that?
Right now he ranks 4th among Canadians all-time in saves. The leader is the great Eric Gagne with 187. Jordan's at 99. His first pitch to Kyle Isbell, low ball one with the slider.
I mean, he's really not that far away. That's two good seasons away from Eric Gagne, the great Eric Gagne.
10th round pick by the Blue Jays in 2014 out of Oral Roberts. 1-0. Slider in there. Strike one. Not only had the role changed for Romano in the middle of the minors, they actually let him go in the Rule 5 draft to Texas, who sent him back to the Blue Jays before he was ever Toronto's closer, of course. 1-1 pitch, hit foul, 1-2. Because Texas wasn't willing to keep him on the 26-man roster the whole season, they sent him back to the Blue Jays, and I'm sure everyone around the Blue Jays is really thankful that they did.
Well, in fairness to the Blue Jays, he wasn't throwing 100 miles an hour
For
either.
sure, for sure. I believe, though, in a 1 or 2 year span, definitely Romano, definitely Emmanuel Clase, and I think maybe Felix Bautista were picked up and returned by the Rangers. Hey, they got a ring, so they don't mind. Romano 1 strike away, 2 outs and the base is empty. 5-2 Blue Jays, bottom 9. The pitch. Fastball outside, ball 2. Romano in this game for a save because the Blue Jays had 2 big hits today. A 3-run triple in the 3rd by Bo Bichette, a 2-run homer by Dalton Varsho in the 6th, and a 2-run homer by Michael Garcia in the 6th as well. High drive on the next pitch, bangs off the foul pole, and that's a solo home run for Kyle Isbell. Slider on the inside edge. Looked like it was going foul, but it just stayed true. And that's a solo home run to make it 5-3.
That was just a hanging slider from Jordan Romano. Danny Jansen's target was down in the zone, almost below the strike zone. And Jordan Romano kind of hangs it on the inside part of the plate, and that's where Kyle Isbell wants that pitch. He didn't miss it.
Second home run of the day for the Royals, who with 2 outs have a pulse going now, down 5-3. Michael Massey is up, and the left-handed hitter takes strike 1 on the top of the zone and the outside edge. Massey's 0 for 3, a fly out, a ground out, and a fielder's choice. Romano dangling that right arm, still very much in line for save 100. His 0-1. Hit well center field. Kiermaier backs up in front of the track, makes the catch. The Blue Jays win, and Jordan Romano is the 4th Canadian in Major League history to save 100 games, and all 100 of them have come for his hometown team, the Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, that's a pretty incredible story. Jordan Romano, of course, from Markham, Ontario, about 30 minutes outside of the city of Toronto. He looks good right now. That's the thing that I'm most excited about. He looks like he's in midseason form. I know I say this a lot, but he looks good. Even though he gave up that home run, that was his only mistake of that outing. He threw a lot of good sliders. His velo is starting to creep up, 96 to 98 miles an hour. And then, of course, Jimmy Garcia and even Eric Swanson had a good inning. He threw some good splits. I think he floated a couple in there, but then as soon as Adam Frazier roped that double down the line, he really locked in and started throwing some good split fingers. So if Eric Swanson can be good, Jimmy Garcia can continue to do what he's doing, and then of course Yusei Kikuchi. He was so good tonight up until that 6th inning, up until he gave up that 2-run home run. He was almost throwing a no-hitter. We were arguing about the fact that should that Salvador Perez base hit, should it have been an error? I think it should have been an error. You think it should have been a base hit, but he was lights out.
Yeah, he was great. Kikuchi picks up the win for the Blue Jays, who go to 13-10 with the victory. Royals now have the same record at 13-10. Blue Jays win 5-3. Jordan Romano picks up his 100th career save. We'll wrap this one up on the other side and send you off to a winning edition of Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better. So they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at ProvenWinnersColorChoice.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Kirk smacks it down the left field line. This one's got a chance. It's good.
Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Blue Jays win 5-3 over the Kansas City Royals. They win their sixth series opener of the season, and they improved to 13-10 on the year. Appreciate you joining us or rejoining us as we get ready for Blue Jays talk coming up after this game. But again, Blue Jays win 5-3 over the Royals in the series opener. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. We touched on a little bit of how good Yusei Kikuchi was today, Chris, but to go back over the line, 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, no walks. He struck out 4. He was running a pitch count in the 50s when he started that 6th inning. He was really aggressive today, and it paid off pretty much until that 6th inning.
Well, I think that's the key word, is he was aggressive. And when Yusei Kikuchi is pounding the bottom of the strike zone with that fastball, which he was today, he can elevate, he can bury that back foot slider, he can kind of spin that good curveball of his. He's been so good, along with Jose Barrios and obviously a couple of other starters that the Blue Jays have. But I feel like Yusei Kikuchi has the most potential of that group. He's the guy that if he can really, really turn it on, and I know that he can because he has the stuff to be that good. If he can throw strikes early in counts and throw like he did tonight, yes, he gave up that 2-run home run, but if he can throw like he did for the first 5 innings of this baseball game, he can be the best pitcher on this team.
Yusei Kikuchi pitching like it right now. I mean, with all due respect also to what Jose Barrios is doing right now. But Kikuchi looking really, really good as well. Mentioned the line. He picks up the win to go to 2-1. Brady Singer gives up 5 hits and 5 runs in 6 innings. To a certain extent, things were going to normalize for him after they had won all 4 of his first 4 games, and he hadn't given up more than 2 runs in any of those starts. But the runs coming on 2 big extra base hits for the Blue Jays, as there's been a lot of talk around the power of the team. Bo Bichette provided some after a Kevin Biggio double and a pair of walks. Bichette came up and tripled in a trio of runs and really, set the Blue Jays off there in the 3rd inning.
Well, Dalton Varsho struck out twice to begin the game. And then he gets one mistake from from Singer, and he crushes it. And then he walks. So he kind of figured it out. He was struggling early on to see the baseball. That's what I noticed. He was making bad decisions, and then all of a sudden he flipped a switch. And good hitters can do that. They can be in a funk for 2 or 3 at bats and then flip a switch. Bad hitters are in a funk for a week, 2 weeks. Dalton Varsho is kind of becoming that good hitter that everybody thought he was going to be.
He's responsible for our play of the game. It came in the 6th with the Blue Jays up 3-0 and a runner on first. Take a listen. 1-2. Varsho hammers the ball, right field. Renfroe back at the wall, runs out of room. It's gone. He did it again. Dalton Varsho with his 6th home run of the season. 5-0 Blue Jays.
Dalton Varsho is now hitting .246 with 6 homers. He had 2 RBIs tonight. He had a walk. He did have those 2 Ks though.
That's okay. I think he gets a pass.
He struggled with those 2 Ks, but like I said, he got his pitch and he didn't miss it. That's what good hitters do. They get the mistake and they crush it. We saw Salvador Perez get the mistake. He crushed it. He's been a good hitter for a long time. Dalton Varsho needs to hit mistakes, and he has been hitting mistakes. He's been on a roll.
He helps the Blue Jays to a 5-3 win. They go to 13-10. So do the Royals with the loss. Blue Jays score 5 on 6 hits, no errors, leave 5 on for the Royals. 3 runs on 8 hits, no errors, and 5 left on as well. Yusei Kikuchi goes to 2-1 with the win. Brady Singer goes to 2-1 with the loss. And for Jordan Romano, his 3rd save of his career and his 3rd save of the season and 100th of his career. The game took 2 hours and 23 minutes in front of a crowd of just about 10,000 on a windy but warm enough day in Kansas City. And the Blue Jays take a step forward in this 4-game set. They'll try to at least guarantee a split on the road tomorrow. Same time, 7:40. We'll have game coverage starting at 7:30. And it's Kevin Gausman on the mound for the Blue Jays, coming off by far the best he's looked in at least a month, at least since his first start of the season. A great start his last time out. He tries to replicate that again against Michael Wacha and the Kansas City Royals. Again, 7:40 first pitch, 7:30 game coverage will start. Hope you can join us then. Appreciate you tuning in tonight. For our technical director, Tom Young, our producer and host, Show Ali, and my partner, Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Hope you have a great night and get your calls in right now because Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker starts right now.
Buddy's happy tonight. The Jays have a 5-3 win over the Kansas City Royals. And the Leafs, not even breaking a sweat. The series is done.
Which one?
Oh, the Leaf series. Leafs in 5s. I was saying it in the office today. It's over. Stick a fork in the Bruins. No doubt about it.
Fingers crossed.
No, it's done. Bruins are dead in the water. 3-2. The Leafs had their way with the Bruins. Like I said, I was flipping back and forth. It didn't seem to me like the game was ever in doubt for the Leafs. Much like this game was never in doubt, Kevin Barker. For the Toronto Blue Jays, this 5-3 Jays win. The numbers to call: 416-870-0590, star 591, 888-666-0590. Very simple question for all of you to consider tonight. Are you buying into Dalton Varsho? Kevin Barker, you buying Dalton Varsho stock right now?
Yeah, I think so. You know what I think I'm buying? I'm buying that he can sort of separate bad at bats and then come up when it matters and have a really good at bat. And I think the Dalton Varsho that we had been seeing up until, say, the last, 25 or 30 at bats, you really didn't know what you were going to get. Now I think he's predictable. Like he's sort of found his sweet spot when it just comes to the pace of the lower half. And, because he is 60-40, 60-40 means 60% of your weight on your back leg, 40% on your front leg. Sort of he's getting a little bit of loft in his swing. He can get the ball in the air to the pull side. And when he's doing that with pace and is on time, he's got tremendous power. So you give everybody credit, right? You give John Snyder credit for hurrying up, putting him in the 5-hole. You give Dalton Varsho credit for just sort of, taking a deep breath, exhaling, sort of working on the pace, and, give his teammates credit. There's been some words that, George Springer and Bo Bichette have actually said, forget about the bat path and, just get it down and sort of get it singing and think about out front. And that's sort of what he's doing. And it just doesn't look like he's thinking about it. When you're not thinking about it because you have some talent, you're going to have success. So good for him. Blue Jays need this. Like they need somebody to step up when the top two guys are just sort of not doing their thing, right? George Springer's bat looks a little slow. Vladdy's swing looks a little long. And when those two things are happening, you're going to have guys like Bo Bichette who, they're counting on to do a lot of things. He came up, and I don't know if you noticed off a Singer, right? Bases loaded instead of doing your two-strike approach, because two-strike approach is just basically put a ball in play. You ain't trying to do that with the bases loaded and one out. You're trying to get the ball in the air to at least have an successful at-bat, and you just catch that slider out front. So, you get big hits when they matter, and because you have really good pitching, that's how you win baseball games. Again, Jeff, they're 10-1 when they score 5 or more. That's the sweet spot. That's the magic number is 5 runs.
Yeah, it'd be nice if George Springer could have that talk with himself. Whatever he said to Varsho, it would be nice if he could have that.
Yeah, I'm optimistic. I
was optimistic last week. Like I said, I'm seeing them win games, doing all the stuff they said they were going to do. That's fine. I mean, I'm happy with that. Don't tell me you're going to do something and then not do it. If you're going to tell me this is the way you're going to attack teams, if you're telling me this is the way the offense is going to look, then go out and do it and win games. I'm fine with that. We got to talk, obviously, about Yusei Kikuchi. Man, oh man, I'll tell you what. If I was the official scorer in Kansas City, I would be giving thanks right now to Sal Perez, because that double. I'm sorry, Garcia, the home run. Pardon me. That removed the any of the debate about whether or not it was a no-hitter going into the game. What am I thinking? I'm looking at the double by Blanco here, because Buck was talking about the
off the breaking
first
ball
two.
away.
Yeah, the first two decisions. the two decisions by the official score, the one in particular, that error on Sal Perez was given an infield hit. I mean, I think most of us would think that's an error. It's interesting, because Buck made the point about the official scoring in Major League Baseball really skewing towards offense now. And I can tell you, I know for a fact, because I've talked to official scorers, Major League Baseball last year had meetings with official scorers in every city. And they basically said, 50-50, call goes to the batter. They said, I mean, you can't put all these rule changes in and try to and say you want to try to create more action without, letting that action show itself in the scorebook. So they told official scorers very clearly, if you're in doubt, make it a hit. So, and I know it's a talking point with a lot of around baseball. It's a talking point with a lot of people. That's just the way it's going to be. That's the way it's going to be.
Yeah, look. I think you got to be realistic, right? If a guy who's won a Gold Glove playing a certain position is standing waiting on a ball, and it just sort of takes a weird hop, hits him in the, not in the webbing of the glove, hits him in the palm of the glove, and bounces off. That's an error. Like, he's flat-footed waiting on the baseball, and the throw from Turner. I mean, every big league first baseman needs to can and should make that throw. That should be an easy. Yeah, neither one of them are hits. Like, I get your point, and I understand. I guess what they're trying to do is because, hitting is down throughout the entire league, that, you're trying to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Something they did last year.
Well, it's the big leagues. I mean, get real. Yeah. Let's be honest with it, right? You got to make them earn it a little bit.
I'm with you, but that's the way official scores have been told that. So, we can sit here and complain about it and talk about it, but that's the way they've been told. But for a while there, I kept looking back at that play and going, oh, man, somebody's got to come through. Somebody's got to do something here so that we don't have that discussion where Yusei Kikuchi's going into the ninth inning with a no-hitter going or something like that, with the exception of that infield hit. And now we're saying, geez, do you look back at that? Do you have a redo on that? But all that aside, again, a terrific outing for Yusei Kikuchi tonight. You talked about very early in the year, Kevin, his first start, the need for efficiency, and we saw that tonight.
Yeah, up until the sixth inning, he didn't throw an inning where he threw more than 12 pitches, which is just unbelievable from what we used to see to what we're seeing now. He's throwing strike one. He threw 15 out of 23 batters. That means he's getting ahead. Like, to say that he's refined mechanics is the biggest understatement of the entire century. Just like, it's so simple, it's so repeatable, it's so quick and out front, and the release point looks like, Groundhog Day. It's just over and over and over again, and that allows him to be really good with the fastball, glove side and down. And when you're doing that and you have a little extra extension, and that means you're throwing that thing a little bit harder, that means that curveball and that slider is going to be that much better, especially when it's down like it is. I mean, that's elite stuff. I don't think you can say anything other than that. He's all of a sudden starting to be able to pitch instead of being a thrower, right? He's sort of evolved into, now he doesn't need in the first couple of innings the 97, 98s. He can pitch at 94, 95 like he was tonight, as long as he's locating and getting ahead and, making sure the breaking stuff is down. I think that's key. He's found his little sweet spot with the release point on the slow breaking ball, having that, 82 to 94, 95, and occasionally 97, 98. That's a giant difference in being able to attack the bottom part of the zone with some authority and with some confidence. And give Danny Jansen credit. He was given targets, big targets, making sure that, if we're going to miss down here. So they were on the same page. They were getting ahead, and you give that dude a lead. It's almost right now, you can almost say it's over. And again, he is very predictable. That, I think, is what they were shooting for when they brought him here, is if Petey can refine all that stuff and get it sort of repeatable and just where he can go out there and get the velocity that he needs. Boy, that's some elite stuff.
416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. A winning edition of Blue Jays baseball tonight. The Jays beating the Kansas City Royals 5-3, the first game of a 4-game series. A couple of topics for conversation tonight. I asked if you're buying with Dalton Varsho selling. I'll also ask if you're buying into Yusei Kikuchi. Kevin Barker, Yusei Kikuchi wants to get paid again next year. He keeps having outings like this where he is quietly emerging as one of the best left-handed pitchers in baseball. He's not going to have any problem finding a contract next year.
I mean, Blue Jays, don't be afraid. Like, where would you find stuff like that at? Like, you don't have anything like that in the minor leagues. I mean, the one guy that's left-handed is always hurt. Like, lefties like this now that have lots of confidence and has refined mechanics and buying into everything that Pete Walker and the organization is trying to sell to him, and you sort of molded him into this. I mean, what more do you want, right? Look, again, I'm sure it's all determined on cost, but because of his age, it ain't going to cost you $1 bazillion. Like, I mean, you could get him for a decent amount, and a guy that now all of a sudden is giving you length and quality at the same time. I mean, lefties that throw this hard that can throw two different breaking balls don't grow on trees. So I would assume that you would think Ross and Mark are probably sooner than later going to start having conversations with whoever his agency is and thinking, hey, how can we keep him here because we like what we're seeing?
Yeah, I would think they have to. You're right. Based on what we're hearing from the minor leagues in terms of the pitching, Brandon Barrera visiting Dr. Meister, Ricky Tiedemann, he needs a follow-up. If I'm the Blue Jays looking at the minor league system right now, I'm with you. I don't know when you have that discussion. I'm not one of those people that thinks you don't talk to players about contracts in season. I think it depends on the player. This idea that you don't talk to somebody once the season starts. I mean, you look at what Alex Anthopoulos did with Edwin Encarnacion when he was here, and they signed him just after the All-Star break. I'm with you. I think you at least have to have the discussion. And,
sometimes people earn it, right, Jeff? Like, I think, he had the bad year.
Good point.
He went in the off season. He adjusted things to, just sort of, sometimes you got to look yourself in the mirror and go, what I'm doing ain't working. I got to figure out something. He simplified it. And now it's just like it's night and day. I just don't know how you couldn't have the conversation. And maybe they already have, but boy, I mean, just sometimes guys earn, to get paid. And right now, it's just like you say, he's loved. I mean, they're big on that clubhouse thing. I mean, he's loved. Everybody loves him. Why wouldn't they? His stuff is off the charts. I mean, how many lefties at the big league level throw as hard consistently as he does now? Now he's locating it into a righty, down to a lefty, and down to a righty, and can throw two different breaking balls, and now has good feel of a real slow breaking ball, which makes it, sort of hard to square things up. Again, I just don't think those things grow on trees. It looks to me like he's getting stronger every time he's pitching. So does it look like there's a light at the end of the tunnel when it just comes to you sort of getting what you see? There might be a little bit more left in the tank, and he's starting to maybe turn the corner because of the pitches he's throwing per inning now, that maybe he's going to give you, those quality starts every time out, which, again, especially from a lefty, man, that's the Yankees. Boy, you're facing that stuff with high-octane velocity. It's not an easy get. So hopefully for Jays fans, they have a conversation and keep him here.
Yeah, I think he got 16 called strikes and whiffs on the curve today. On his four-seamer, he got 10 on his curve. I mean, he was really good.
He threw those two pitches 68 times. Just tell you how good he is.
Yeah.
He kept the fastball in the zone 65% of the time. He kept the curveball in the zone 60% of the time. He had 38 swings combined on those two pitches. He had 12 whiffs and 14 called strikes. It's like action, right? You want to have outs as quick as possible, and to get these 3 up and 3 downs like he was, and he had a 12-pitch inning, 11-pitch inning, a 6-pitch inning, a 10-pitch inning. It's like after you score and then he comes back and gives you a 10-pitch inning like he did. It's just, I mean, it's elite stuff, right? And for him to get in his lanes the way he is and finish the way he is, and then he had a ball fouled off his, hit off his foot, and it just didn't seem to bother the rhythm and timing and how he's locating pitches. So right now it's elite stuff, man. And on top of it, he's got confidence. Just, it's pouring out of his pores right there. It's just like he's beating a dude on the on deck circle before he walks to the plate, which is half the battle too. So, yeah, I mean, add to the Barrios, and now you hopefully Gosman and Bassett and Rodriguez. Boy, you dreading coming in there facing them 5 dudes.
Well, and you're also buying yourself some time with Alek Manoah. Alek Manoah can make as many starts as you want him to make down there and get himself straightened out. And then if this thing continues to go the way it goes, now you've got an interesting situation where perhaps you try to finagle something with Rodriguez and Alek Manoah, where one piggybacks off the other. I mean, if you're looking to control the aerial, Rodriguez's innings. But I mean, Kevin, that's almost like we're at the point right now where if Alek Manoah comes back, it's a bonus. Which, if you're the Blue Jays, that's kind of your best case scenario right now.
Yeah, it's the best Swanson's look for you. I mean, it was for me tonight. Like
that last splitty he threw was the one I've been waiting to see. Right? I think we've all been waiting to see that one.
You know, sort of what it was is the Turner made a nice play, nice throw to home, saved a run for him, and it just seemed to give him life. And then it just looked like he had a little bit better extension. It was just coming out a little hotter, had a little bit more late movement to it. It just seems like he gave him a little bit of confidence, not giving up a run, because he made a bad pitch and guy made him pay for it. So getting him going. You know, Jordan Romano, I know, gave up a home run on a slider. It looks to me like his ball's moving a little bit more velocity. He's not forcing the velocity as much. So if you get those two guys healthy, Jimmy Garcia, I mean, dude, he's got 5 pitches, Jeff, coming out of the bullpen, which is just unbelievable to me, the way he throws and adds, subtracts, and, you know, can give a lefty and a righty all kinds of different looks and doing it with different arm angles, and he's maintaining the velocity the way he is at his age. That's elite stuff, too. So, you know, if they can continue to maybe have some grinded out at bats and maybe have a couple of their main guys get hot offensively, you know, who knows? Maybe they can make a serious run at this thing and go on a winning streak, which is sort of what they need. They need sort of both sides of the ball to meet in the middle. We talked about this on our show today.
They kind of got a winning streak going.
Yeah,
right
I know,
now.
but I mean, make
honestly,
it look a little easier. A little easier, though, is what I'm saying, right? You get a couple dudes hot in their lineup, sort of carrying the load, make it a little easier so every pitch doesn't matter the way it's mattering from them starters. Just, they got a really good team, the way they play defense. Now, the base running tonight, Kiermaier getting picked off second. I mean, that's a no-no. You're just not supposed to do that. Ball's right in front of you. Your eyes are following the ball. I mean, that's just odd for him to do that. So hopefully you don't see that again. I mean, it's baseball 101 when it comes to base running. So, you know, clean some things up on the defensive side, make the plays you're supposed to make. And again, boy, if you could just get a couple of them main guys hot at the top of that lineup with the way they're pitching, wow.
Well, speaking of that, my friend Mr. Barker talked about Bo Bichette's triple in the third inning, a bases-clearing triple by Bo Bichette. This is the manager, John Schneider, talking about that triple.
I mean, his swing is getting pretty damn good. The walk to Vlad, Vlad's walk to load the bases, and then just a really good at bat from Bo. I think even a couple other of his swings today were really good, and it's good to see the emotion out of him too. He's one of the best hitters in the league. Everyone knows that. Huge hit today.
Yeah, that was a huge hit. And Kevin, as you mentioned, we love Bo's two-strike approach at times. But Bo has talked to you about when the opportunity presents itself to do maximum damage, he's going to try to do maximum damage.
Yeah, you got to think about Brady Singer, too. What's he like to do? He likes to throw the slider down and away and throw the sort of the front hip sinker to righties down, right? It's very hard to get those balls in the air. What's Bo's two-strike approach? That's just basically putting the ball in play to the right side of the field. He didn't want to do that. He wanted to get the ball in the air and do some damage. And to do that, you got to catch that thing out front. Got a slider out front. It was down. It's a really good pitcher's pitch. But because he didn't have his two-strike approach, that sort of enabled him to add a little loft, uppercut in his swing, get the ball in the air, and backspin that thing to right field. They needed that. Again, sort of just when their big three is somebody in that sort of little pocket is doing something, it just seems like everybody else sort of falls in line and is going up there and free and easy and having better at-bats. And, Biggio had a good at-bat tonight when they scored a run. IKF, had a couple of good at-bats. So bottom of the order's doing their thing. If you could just get George and Flatty, kind of, I don't know what, maybe half of what we expect them to be doing. Maybe that can help out, and, hopefully Bo's starting to turn the corner. You can tell Bo is not worried about his mechanics. He's more worried about, situations and what he's trying to do and how he's trying to help a team win a baseball game. So that bodes well. When you're not thinking about it, it's like Varsho. When you're not thinking about your mechanics, you just sort of get in the pitch, knowing where you need to make contact with it so it'll end up where you want it to go. And when they're doing that, because they're really good hitters, things tend to work out.
416-870-0590, star 591, 888-666-0590. The Blue Jays have beaten the Kansas City Royals in the first game of a 4-game series. Second game goes tomorrow. We will take a break and come back, and we'll hear from John Schneider about, I don't know if you would call it a little bit of history made tonight by Jordan Romano, but I think it's safe to say that Jordan Romano hit a little bit of a milestone tonight. We'll hear from John Schneider about that. Take your calls. Get more comments. It's Blue Jays Talk on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
The Blue Jays are inviting you to work from Dome. Put it in your calendar. 307 weekday starts this season. You can work from Dome with friends or coworkers at Rogers Center. It's a game changer. Make the ballpark your office for the afternoon. Work from Dome, 307 weekday starts. Let's touch base. Check out ticket options on BlueJays.com/workfromdome.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Center. Visit timbermart.ca.
This is Jordan Romano, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Awesome for him, personally knowing him for a long time and, seeing him as a starter in the minors and getting Rule 5 and coming back. And a lot of credit is obviously it goes to him, his process, his routine. It's not easy to do, whether it's a 3-run lead or a 1-run lead, especially in this division. He's been doing it for a number of years now. Really glad we won, but really happy for him. He's really turned himself into a pretty elite closer.
John Schneider talking about Jordan Romano, who picked up his 100th save tonight in a 5-3 Jays win, 100 save in 220 games. That is the third fastest Canadian-born pitcher to 100 saves. John Axford, 100 saves in 198 games played. Eric Gagne, 100 saves in 203 games played. Jordan Romano. We forget about this we forget about the early days of Jordan Romano's career. Rule 5, like this was not a straight path for Jordan Romano from being drafted, signed, and closing. It was not a straight path for him. And look, we've talked about Jordan Romano, Kevin. We're on the same page with him. I think we are anyhow. He's your closer. Remains to be seen whether he can be a guy who can do what closers have to do in the postseason. We don't know. He hasn't really had that many opportunities to do that. But it's considering how his career has gone. That's a pretty good milestone. That's a pretty good milestone.
Well, it's pretty cool, too, the way he's sort of evolved into what he's evolved into, right? He's tried to elevate fastballs. He's sort of got that unorthodox sort of, wind up and just where he's releasing the baseball. He's a crossfire guy, and, for the most part, he stayed healthy. The slider's gotten better the more he's thrown it. He can throw it, almost abuse it at times, which has helped him, right? The slider's not the easiest thing to hit. So, yeah, where he started and where he's at now. Regular season, I'd take him 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, and boy, they've got a nice little thing going with him and Jimmy Garcia. If they can just find that one other guy that they can slot in there, and who knows? I think they have options there, obviously, but if Eric Swanson, if he can command that fastball, and if that splitter's back, that's a pretty good 1, 2, 3, at least at this stage of the year. And as we've said, one thing we know about the Blue Jays, they'll make a bullpen ad at some point this year. They will just make a bullpen ad at some point. And I think done it pretty much every year.
I think Swanson too didn't look like he was hunting velocity, right? I think it was just coming out free and easy. And
you made the point. It looked more like Eric Swanson looked last year. The extension and everything. It just looked more comfortable.
Yeah. Look, I think the split finger's still a work in progress just because of the release point and, where he wants it to end up. His last one was the best one he'd thrown out of the mix. And again, I think it just took a nice play from his defense. He got a little fired up and, you like the velocity has to be up a little bit for get the guys swinging at the split finger. If it's not, it's probably not going to go well for him, but this is a good outing that he can take, build off of, and hopefully help him out a little bit back into that.
Well, Bo Bichette had the bases clearing triple. Dalton Varsha with a 2-run home run. This was Bo Bichette after the game about what the team does best right now.
I know I always say it, but just the way we're competing is really it's really fun to be a part of, especially with me not really doing everything I can, and Vladdy as well, and George too. Like, guys are stepping up and helping this team win. And it's, like I said, it's really fun to be a part of.
Yeah, that is Bo Bichette, and talking about himself and what he needs to do, mentioning Vladdy and George, and Kevin, I don't want to bring this down because the Leafs won, these guys won 5-3. But again, George Springer tonight, not very good. 0 for 5, 4 ground ball outs. Vladdy a single, will walk. We asked John Schneider when he on his weekly appearance last Friday what you might do with the lineup. I don't know what you can do with those top 2 spots, Kevin. We've gone back and forth on it. I just. George Springer, first of all, George Springer doesn't want to come out of the leadoff spot. He made that pretty clear last year. Secondly, at this point, I don't know where you'd put him. So I have no idea. I have no idea what the Jays do here. It's a real quandary.
Yeah, I think they're 13-10. Is that what they are? 13-10?
Yes, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, I think they got 13 wins, and I think Bo was saying there without coming out and saying it, we're very fortunate to be 13-10.
Yeah.
Because the first 3 guys just haven't been doing what we expected we were supposed to be doing at the beginning of the season. And, again, I think that if you got, sort of looking forward, and if you're a Jays fan being happy about something, I think it's that they're 13-10 without them 3 dudes doing a ton. And I think that's sort of what he's saying is just wait until we start doing, hopefully what we start doing. And, helping this team win a bunch of baseball games and get on a roll and make a run towards the playoffs. But I'm with you again. Look, this is sort of the first night that you've seen Vladdy look out and around. Swing looks really long. And for me, Springer's swing just looks slow.
He looks slow.
It does. I just don't know, that means you'd have to be real careful about what you swing at, right? Give him the ball in so you can get your arms extended, maybe go up hunting, breaking stuff just until you get in the flow and maybe get the foot down a little quicker and maybe your bat gets a little quicker the later the season goes. But I'm sure they'll try and make some adjustments. I'm sure they'll, do whatever it takes to refine what they're not swinging at and just
whatever happened, Kevin, to the idea that George was going to go up this year and try to hit for more power and remember all that talk in spring training? He was going to try to pull the ball more and hit for more power. Hey, maybe it's just not there. Maybe it's just not there anymore.
I think he's trying to do that. Well, what he's swinging, he's swinging the ball in. I mean, if he's going to hit a bunch of homers, it's going to be the pull side. So, I think by what he's swinging at, he's telling you that he's going up there trying to hit homers. And just for whatever reason right now, it could be numerous things, but it just, to me, this is the first night that his bat just looked like it was slow through the zone. And, maybe get it started a little sooner, maybe get your foot down a little sooner, maybe you just try and think about, not swinging at certain pitches just until everything sort of is working in unison and you can drive down and through the baseball and maybe start hitting some homers. So, yeah, again, you got to be optimistic. I think it's just the fact that they think in that room they're fortunate to be 13-10 because of what the first three guys are not doing. And if they get the first or three or maybe two of the three rolling for a long period of time, I think they are going to make a serious run at this thing because they are, Jeff, a couple of guys, because of the way they pitch, the way they play defense, if they get a couple of them dudes smoking hot for a while, they are a really, really good team.
Yeah, this pitching
is elite. It really elite. Is. It is.
Kevin, I think early days and all that, I think it has a potential to be better than it was last year. And it was pretty damn good last year. But this is a different Kikuchi. My goodness, we've talked about Jose Barrios. You didn't see that an awful lot from Barrios last year, and with Kikuchi doing what he's doing now, and Yariel Rodriguez, I hate to say it again because we said it a lot last year, but boy, oh boy, if it's 2 years in a row where you waste a lot of good pitching,
Yeah, how many rotations got a number 5 guy like Rodriguez who can go out there and just stuff people to death? Now, I know he ain't refined yet, but, man, he's got some serious stuff.
No. Yeah. 5-3, the Blue Jays beat the Kansas City Royals tonight. It is the first game of a 4-game series. Second game goes tomorrow. It will be on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and Sportsnet. Thank you for listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Belleville and Trenton, just off the 401. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com. They are Canada's #1 rust protection.
This has been Major League Baseball play-by-play on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game?
Calling this game?
Calling this game?
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game! It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet! Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
It is Bedlam at the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play. Oh, my.
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall.
till the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd. Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
I don't believe what I just saw.
And the way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams.
A ball, a bat, and a microphone, but no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
He struck it out looking. It's over. It's over. The Rangers have won the World Series.
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio.
Right now on Sirius XM.
All rise.
Coming in 5.
Get ready to play.
4.
Get up. Get up.
3.
Can you believe it?
Put your seatbelt on.
Wow.
Talk about the game and all the stories on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89, and the Sirius XM app.
Zog there. I knew the legend of Whitey. I did not go to spring training with the big league club that year. He went to go check out the AAA team, and 2 days later I get called up. And it was Whitey Herzog who called me up to the big leagues. Always forever grateful for Whitey Herzog, and I am dearly going to miss him, as I would, I got to pass every year to go to the Otesaga Hotel in Cooperstown because my dad, Tony Perez, is in the Hall of Fame. And I remember in the second level, sitting in the rocking chairs there with Whitey Herzog and listening to baseball stories, talking about every little thing, and I'm like a kid in a candy store when I'm at the Otesaga. But one of the most cherished moments that I have is being able to spend time with one of our greats, and that's Whitey Herzog.
Mad Dog Sports Radio has the best sports talk in the business, covering sports with a passion and knowledge you need. Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM 86, and the SXM app.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Monday, April the 22nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:05 p.m., New York Yankees take on the Oakland A's. Yankees on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 858. A's on Internet 859. 6:40 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Reds on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 846. Phillies on Internet 860. 6:40 p.m., Pittsburgh Pirates take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Pirates on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 861. Brewers on Internet 855. 6:50 p.m., Tampa Bay Rays take on the Detroit Tigers. Rays on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 866. Tigers on Internet 849. 7:20 p.m., Atlanta Braves take on the Miami Marlins. Braves on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 841. Marlins on Internet 854. 7:40 p.m., Minnesota Twins take on the Chicago White Sox. Twins on Sirius 119, XM 180, and Internet 856. White Sox on Internet 845. 7:45 p.m., Kansas City Royals take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Royals on Sirius 106, XM 179, and Internet 851. Jays on Internet 868. 7:45 p.m., St. Louis Cardinals take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Cardinals on Sirius 137, XM 181, and Internet 865. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. 8:40 p.m., Colorado Rockies take on the San Diego Padres. Rockies on Sirius 146, XM 183, and Internet 848. Padres on Internet 862. 9:38 p.m., LA Angels take on the Baltimore Orioles. Angels on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 852. Orioles on Internet 842. 9:45 p.m., San Francisco Giants take on the New York Mets. Giants on Sirius 108, XM 184, and Internet 863. Mets on Internet 857. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Monday, April the 22nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:05 p.m., New York Yankees take on the Oakland A's. Yankees on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 858. A's on Internet 859. 6:40 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Reds on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 846. Phillies on Internet 860. 6:40 p.m., Pittsburgh Pirates take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Pirates on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 861. Brewers on Internet 855. 6:50 p.m., Tampa Bay Rays take on the Detroit Tigers. Rays on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 866. Tigers on Internet 849. 7:20 p.m., Atlanta Braves take on the Miami Marlins. Braves on Sirius 211 XM 178 and Internet 841. Marlins on Internet 854. 7:40 p.m. Minnesota Twins take on the Chicago White Sox. Twins on Sirius 119 XM 180 and Internet 856. White Sox on Internet 845. 7:45 p.m. Kansas City Royals take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Royals on Sirius 106 XM 179 and Internet 851. Jays on Internet 868. 7:45 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Cardinals on Sirius 137 XM 181 and Internet 865. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. 8:40 p.m. Colorado Rockies take on the San Diego Padres. Rockies on Sirius 146 XM 183 and Internet 848. Padres on Internet 862. 9:38 p.m. LA Angels take on the Baltimore Orioles. Angels on Sirius and XM channels 89 Internet 852. Orioles on Internet 842. 9:45 p.m. San Francisco Giants take on the New York Mets. Giants on Sirius 108 XM 184 and Internet 863. Mets on Internet 857. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Monday, April the 22nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:05 p.m., New York Yankees take on the Oakland A's. Yankees on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 858. A's on Internet 859. 6:40 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Reds on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 846. Phillies on Internet 860.
MLB Network Radio is your home for 24/7 baseball talk, featuring on-site coverage of every major event from spring training through the World Series and expert analysis from former general managers and players. SiriusXM, Channel 89.
Major League Baseball celebrates one of the greatest that ever played the game with Jackie Robinson Day. Every player in the league wears the number 42 to commemorate the day and honor the legendary player. And President and CEO of the Jackie Robinson Foundation, Della Britton, stopped by SiriusXM MLB Network Radio on Channel 89 to talk about how she hopes it impacts future generations.
It also excited me that we would be able to teach the next generation about Jackie's legacy, about how much he did, that he used his athletic ability and success to do so much more, to serve the community, to be the ultimate humanitarian. One of my favorite quotes of his is, the ballot in the buck is what is needed to advance, communities that have been disenfranchised. And I like that because it really does signify the notion of being civically engaged, and that, we still have a ways to go to true equality in this country. But as far as I'm concerned, as a black woman, I very much carry that mantra of his very, very, sort of in forefront of my mind anyway.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is SiriusXM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. SiriusXM NBA Radio. SiriusXM 86.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Monday, April the 22nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:05 p.m., New York Yankees take on the Oakland A's. Yankees on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 858. A's on Internet 859. 6:40 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Reds on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 846. Phillies on Internet 860. 6:40 p.m., Pittsburgh Pirates take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Pirates on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 861. Brewers on Internet 855. 6:50 p.m. Tampa Bay Rays take on the Detroit Tigers. Rays on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 866. Tigers on Internet 849. 7:20 p.m. Atlanta Braves take on the Miami Marlins. Braves on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 841. Marlins on Internet 854. 7:40 p.m. Minnesota Twins take on the Chicago White Sox. Twins on Sirius 119, XM 180, and Internet 856. White Sox on Internet 845. 7:45 p.m. Kansas City Royals take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Royals on Sirius 106, XM 179, and Internet 851. Jays on Internet 868. 7:45 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Cardinals on Sirius 137, XM 181, and Internet 865. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. 8:40 p.m. Colorado Rockies take on the San Diego Padres. Rockies on Sirius 146, XM 183, and Internet 848. Padres on Internet 862. 9:38 p.m. LA Angels take on the Baltimore Orioles. Angels on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 852. Orioles on Internet 842. 9:45 p.m. San Francisco Giants take on the New York Mets. Giants on Sirius 108, XM 184 and Internet 863. Mets on Internet 857. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Monday, April the 22nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:05 p.m., New York Yankees take on the Oakland A's. Yankees on Sirius 208, XM 175 and Internet 858. A's on Internet 859. 6:40 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Reds on Sirius 208, XM 175 and Internet 846. Phillies on Internet 860. 6:40 p.m., Pittsburgh Pirates take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Pirates on Sirius 209, XM 176 and Internet 861. Brewers on Internet 855. 6:50 p.m., Tampa Bay Rays take on the Detroit Tigers. Rays on Sirius 210, XM 177 and Internet 866. Tigers on Internet 849. 7:20 p.m., Atlanta Braves take on the Miami Marlins. Braves on Sirius 211, XM 178 and Internet 841. Marlins on Internet 854. 7:40 p.m., Minnesota Twins take on the Chicago White Sox. Twins on Sirius 119, XM 180 and Internet 856. White Sox on Internet 845. 7:45 p.m., Kansas City Royals take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Royals on Sirius 106, XM 179 and Internet 851. Jays on Internet 868. 7:45 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Cardinals on Sirius 137, XM 181 and Internet 865. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. 8:40 p.m. Colorado Rockies take on the San Diego Padres. Rockies on Sirius 146, XM 183 and Internet 848. Padres on Internet 862. 9:38 p.m. LA Angels take on the Baltimore Orioles. Angels on Sirius XM channels 89 Internet 852. Orioles on Internet 842. 9:45 p.m. San Francisco Giants take on the New York Mets. Giants on Sirius 108, XM 184 and Internet 863. Mets on Internet 857. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Monday, April the 22nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:05 p.m., New York Yankees take on the Oakland A's. Yankees on Sirius 208, XM 175 and Internet 858. A's on Internet 859. 6:40 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Reds on Sirius 208, XM 175 and Internet 846. Phillies on Internet 860.
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 brings you expert analysis from former players, coaches, and executives, plus reaction to all the latest news on the only 24/7 station dedicated to the National Football League.
Minnesota Twins manager Rocco Baldelli was on SiriusXM MLB Network Radio's Power Alley to talk about and give an update on Carlos Correa's oblique strain injury that he suffered during an 8-2 loss to the Detroit Tigers.
It looks to be a mild, and we're calling it an intercostal strain. Okay. It does seem to be more on the mild side. Now, with stuff like that, we know even though something's mild, it still could be, a matter of couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, but who knows? We're going to probably have to wait until all of the symptoms are gone to actually have a better idea of the time frame. But it's not a severe strain. It's not even a moderate strain. So that was definitely positive. We knew he was feeling something, so we assumed we'd see something on the testing. So he's our quarterback on the field. He's the guy that really almost everything we do when we're out there, it almost all goes through him in one way or another. He's a great communicator and leader. We never want to see him out. But right now we're going to, mix a lot of the Willie Castros and the Farmers and all these guys in at that shortstop spot and let those guys go do their job until Correa comes back.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Monday, April the 22nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:05 p.m., New York Yankees take on the Oakland A's. Yankees on Sirius 208, XM 175 and Internet 858. A's on Internet 859. 6:40 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Reds on Sirius 208, XM 175 and Internet 846. Phillies on Internet 860. 6:40 p.m., Pittsburgh Pirates take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Pirates on Sirius 209, XM 176 and Internet 861. Brewers on Internet 855. 6:50 p.m., Tampa Bay Rays take on the Detroit Tigers. Rays on Sirius 210, XM 177 and Internet 866.